Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Clear Skies, our Star Trek RPG show live here at QueueTimes. And hailing frequencies are open. How's everybody doing?
Welcome back!
Good. Oh, hey, that's me.
Oh, hey,
Yeah, thanks. Well, welcome back to everyone. It's been 1 week.
I did it at sound check, so
Yeah.
that's on me.
I don't have to be here.
Just like,
So yes, welcome back, everybody. We're here for another Star Trek adventure. We got a few announcements to get out of the way off the top of the episode before we jump into the show for the evening. So right off the top of the bat, I just want to go ahead. It was. So right off the top, I want to let everybody know that the Kickstarter for Descent into Midnight is wrapping up this week. So if you've been holding off on wanting to grab that sweet, sweet RPG goodness,
Now's the time.
Now's the time to do it. The mid-Kickstarter slump has ended, and we are now in the rush hours of the last week of the Kickstarter. So we're actually over halfway to, I think we're over halfway to our fourth goal, which is going to be 4 episodes for the Streampunks to actually running like a mini campaign for Descent into Midnight. So definitely go check out that Kickstarter. We're going to be popping that link up in chat tonight. So if anybody has any questions or if you guys are interested in checking it out, it's also worth noting that they have a few tiers on there that are good for if you want to buy copies that will be donated. That is also an option, as well as the limited edition copy, which is actually quite well priced and pretty freaking pretty. So that's the one I'm grabbing for myself. But yeah, go check that out when you get a chance, and let's see if we can get this Kickstarter goal. Let's see if we can hit 4. I really want to hit 4. That'd be pretty rad.
4 is a good number.
4 is a good number. Also want to give a quick shout out and thank you to everyone who joined Xander and I this weekend for the shenanigans that we got up to on Friday. Yeah. Saturday and Sunday was a lot of fun too.
Did you crash my ship?
No. I played a Klingon.
Yeah, we were playing Klingons mostly. He ran around with Zazrit and shot shit up.
It was
a lot of fun.
With the whip.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And I got a great screenshot of me as Zazrit standing in front of DS9 Zazrit, and both of us saying "Stupid, sexy me" at the exact same moment. Brilliant.
One of my favorite clips from that weekend is someone clipped it out of you telling a story, and I forget what you say, but you say it in a way that's like, "Did you know?"
Oh, yeah.
And then
Did you know?
And then we go back and
We just
forth.
kinda, yeah. So thank you for joining us for that. Unfortunately, I did not get my Miracle Worker D7 flight deck carrier.
There's always next year.
It is a 1.5 billion credit ship. It will never happen, but there's always next year. I count myself fortunate. I got the USS Ross. I'll be fine. Claw will be fine.
Yeah.
Claw will be all right. My Klingon will be fine. So, thank you guys for joining and playing with us. It was a lot of fun, and we're going to be doing a lot more community events on Star Trek Online as well. Even if they're just hangouts at Starfleet Academy where we have dance parties and confuse the fuck out of new players.
That did happen.
It's pretty rad. Yes, watching the Ferengi and the Gorn dressed as Abraham Lincoln
And we were like, just
dance
it out.
was pretty spectacular. So, thank you guys for that. Do we have any other announcements from anybody else here at the table before we jump into this night?
for those local, at the Rockwell next week on St. Patrick's Day, apparently I'm singing now as of yesterday.
Yay!
So I'm singing for St. Patrick's Day. If people are in town, it's another Disney night at the Rockwell. And then April, there's a Disney brunch, a jazz brunch that I'm singing at, and it's a Richard Sherman tribute. So come on,
Nice.
Sherman Brothers.
Cool.
And then also for locals, not this coming week, but the week after, at Alamo Drafthouse is a screening of the finale of LA by Night.
That's so cool, y'all!
It's so cool.
That's the coolest thing that's ever happened.
It'll be on the Thursday, so if you are local, come out and see the episode before it even airs. And then
Shit, I already came out.
well, yeah, again, it's fine. You can do as much as you want. It's a journey.
Same as an announcement,
I've had to
everybody.
come out 3 times in my life.
Right.
3 different things.
And you never
I'm gonna come
know.
out 3 times this week.
But come out to LA by Night at the Alamo Drafthouse if you're around.
All right, cool. Anybody else got any announcements they want to drop on us?
I love you, Discord.
Rave loves you, Discord.
Bingo.
League of Whimsy. Rave has been snooping.
Yeah. You kept me company when I was sick, and that was nice.
Aww.
Yeah. That's it.
That's all.
That's all.
Any other announcements for the evening? Yeah, you have a couple of shows that you have to talk about, don't you?
No. We have at last reached the point where all of the shows that I have been about to launch have launched.
I wish I were there.
What is this?
You'll get there too someday.
Someday.
But we do have like some season finales cleaning up because that's how seasons work.
Yeah, we have our season finale of New Pantheon next Saturday. Sunday.
Go. Yeah.
See, that's what time does to us.
Yeah, I don't know what day it is or what time it is.
It's Clear Skies Day.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how it works. It's Clear Skies Day, Build Alliance Day, Invisible Sun Day, Darkened Wish Day, Day off,
Invisible Sunday.
Open by Night Day.
I love all of my
We did
days
it.
very much. Invisible Sunday is my favorite day.
It's not on Sunday.
Well, this will be Aki's last game here at Clear Skies.
Let's go into combat.
It is also tied for my favorite game of every other game I play, okay? And are we excited?
No, we're murderous.
I mean,
About murder.
false dichotomy, I say unto thee, good sir. Verily, I can put that through an airlock and be excited.
To be one is to be the other with Sam Delev. All right, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of Clear Skies.
Yay.
Welcome back to Clear Skies, everybody. We are going to go ahead and jump into our game. I couldn't do a countdown because the
No,
thing was
it's okay.
coming to me.
I think it just came back to all of us just being like, gosh, our ship is pretty.
Yeah, it's true. If we were making love eyes at you when we came back live, it's because we can actually
Just
see the
off
intro
to
on
the
the other
side.
side. Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
No, I'm making love eyes at all of you.
Which, by the way, before we jump into the game, Zeman Films actually did another YouTube video showcasing the USS Ross with his own music track that they pulled, and it is stunning. It's really beautiful. So give
Our
it a
ship
check.
is a good ship.
Yep.
Good gal.
Let's go ahead and jump into tonight's story. So the USS Ross, when we last left off, had been ordered into the Shackleton Expanse for her first excursion of essentially distracted by Aki. That's okay, it's not your fault.
Civilians got tall manners. You can talk to Starfleet.
The USS Ross had been ordered into the Shackleton Expanse to investigate the emergence of a celestial phenomenon known as a particle fountain. Particle fountains, very little is known about them. A few of them have appeared in the Alpha Quadrant, and in the time that Starfleet has been monitoring these weird celestial phenomenon, they are responsible for destroying multiple Starfleet vessels who've gotten too close to these phenomenon. They are unpredictable at best. It's essentially like exploring the edge of a volcano and not being properly equipped, except for you don't really know what you're exploring. Now, technology is advanced enough to the point where Starfleet has been able to not only spot these phenomenon, stay away from them, but also get better and better at reading what these phenomenon are made up of and why it is they're so dangerous for vessels. Also, could go a long way into predicting how they emerge and where they're coming from. USS Ross has been ordered immediately to leave Narendra Station and head into the Shackleton Expanse to investigate this phenomenon. And that's not all that happened the last game, though. We got to meet some of the station staff, including the Klingon chief medical officer, who had a really interesting encounter with our chief medical officer. We still don't know if they're crushing on each other or if they're going to murder each other, but oftentimes those to do one is sometimes to do the other. So,
crushed twice. Why didn't you?
Or to crush each other.
Thank you. It was right there.
Either way, the gift that y'all made of me last week about the shipping thing.
Oh, I missed it. I'll show me later.
Ambassador Jal of the House of Martok was introduced. We got to meet the Klingon ambassador of Narendra Station, who turned out to be a very colorful character who is not very fond of General Kargan at all. And with all of the things happening, we also had an interesting encounter between our counselor/commander, or in this case, commander/counselor, and our renegade Tal Shiar agent, who has now been surgically altered to look like a Trill, because of the degradation that is taking place after having an implant removed from the base of his brain. He is experiencing a slow deterioration of his cognitive abilities. This has led to some pretty challenging interactions with him, as some of his old Tal Shiar habits are kicking in as survival mode is locking him into place. But also the man that Dr. Wellix presented when he first went to the ambassador for help during our premiere in episode 1 is also struggling to emerge. And as a result of this, Wellix is seesawing back and forth between paranoid Tal Shiar agent and a Romulan just trying to find a path for himself in this new life. Led to some hard love, particularly because he was falling back into some bad habits pretty badly last episode. But among all the other things that have happened, the big variable that has been thrown into the group at this moment was just before the USS Ross departed Narendra Station into Shackleton Expanse. A Vorcha-class Klingon battlecruiser decloaked. Now, the Klingons have full authority to bring whatever they want to Narendra Station. That was part of the agreement in building the station out here, so close to the Klingon Empire and Shackleton Expanse. This station is crewed by half Klingon staff. Narendra Station is a joint effort. And the Klingons are the allies of the Federation. So they are actually allowed into Federation space. Decloaking just atop Narendra Station, not 200 kilometers from the Romulan warbird, was a show of swagger. And it was the Klingons very dramatically letting the Romulans know that they are here.
Not my circus, not my monkey.
So, let me go ahead and give you some quick information. The Vorcha class ship is called the IKS Kuvat. Q-U''VAT.
Is that a capital Q or a lowercase?
It sounds like a lower.
It's capital.
Oh.
Capital Q, lowercase u, apostrophe, capital V, lowercase at. Kuvat.
Cool.
Captain's name is Tagal, which is T''Ghal. Starfleet actually has a file on him, so it doesn't take long to figure out that his personality profile, which you would be privy to, Ambassador, the captain of this particular warship is known for being stern, patient, and violent.
I knew that General Kargan was no fool.
Upon this IKS Kuvat decloaking, Admiral Hebert immediately contacted the USS Ross and informed you that you are still tasked to heading into Shackleton Expanse, that this is her problem. And she is certain that working with Ambassador Jal, that she'll be able to handle this.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
So the USS Ross set out at Warp 7. It is a 6-day journey.
Only?
6 days at Warp 7. It's 11 light years away, 6 days, 2 hours, 53 minutes. The USS Ross is ordered to the JOTAM system. Jotaym. JOTAM.
Is that N or M?
M is in Martok. JOTAM system. To investigate the appearance of a particle fountain. Little is known about these celestial phenomenon, but they're very dangerous. A dozen or so Starfleet vessels have been lost attempting to study them. They were This is the first opportunity to observe one that has been active in over 3 years. All right. A few days travel into Shackleton. The USS Ross encounters Shackleton's notorious electromagnetic and gravimetric eddies.
Eddie. Dang it!
No.
If you say Eddie.
Yep. Yeah, there are eddies out here, and
An Eddie?
No.
the electromagnetic eddies and the gravimetric eddies are two trait 2 traits. Level 2 traits for the Shackleton expanse as a whole, so they are always present.
Good thing we run.
They typically only activate, just from GM to player, typically these traits activate when complications can arise. Or if I spend threat, those kinds of things.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
You've already been warned. Not only will these eddies cause a bit of a bump, but they will permanently reduce your shield rating by 3 if you hit one of these and fail. And you cannot repair them. Your shield emitters must be replaced. So all stop or head back to Narendra Station. Now, typically, heading back to Narendra Station is the only option. But the USS Ross is outfitted with worker bee repairs and shuttle repair. I mean, the expansive hangar base that the USS Ross has actually gives her an advantage the other starships in the Expanse have never been able to have, which is you can literally come to a full stop and do station keeping repairs right there on the spot with your teams. You will be able to replace shield emitters, but it will be days worth of replacements.
We also have another secret weapon up our sleeve, and that is Cetacean Ops. So
correct.
we've got our Astrometrics lab down there, and they're very good at calculating these eddies.
So, Yada has actually informed you, Captain, during, we'll go ahead and say this. This is a good way to involve Yada and explain to you and the rest of the crew what you're up against with these eddies. The eddies themselves are very difficult to scan into. If you wanted to get like readings on the eddies themselves, they play havoc with the sensors, so it's very challenging. Not impossible, but challenging. But typically with the eddies themselves, because of the nature of these eddies and the unpredictable emergence of these eddies, oftentimes, even Yada has warned you that it's not unusual to happen upon one without even realizing you're happening upon one. It's entirely possible you're going to hit a bump in the road and not realize that it was there. But, yes, Yada and Astrometrics should be able to accurately pinpoint when there is, not necessarily map them like we did in Shielded Tomorrow. These eddies, think of them as bubbles coming to the surface of water. They'll appear, they'll be intense, and then they'll disappear. Interestingly enough, to this day, no one knows why or where these gravimetric and electromagnetic eddies emerge from in the Shackleton Expanse. There's no explanation for it yet.
Cute.
Yeah.
It just makes me miss my old
Yeah.
stellar guitar.
Dot. 3 days now into the journey. You guys have already had a few encounters with the eddies, but the Ross is fine.
How's Vren doing?
Vren?
Yes.
Vren is frustrated. Vren is frustrated because the Ross is a big girl that's designed to go really fast, and he's not allowed to navigate her the way he would normally navigate her in beta and alpha quadrants.
Being right.
Just got to be a little more careful. He's getting frustrated every time the Ross hits a bump. It has not been very often, but he's learning the ropes, and he's learning how to read the signs. The sensors are actually giving him enough of a heads up. Thing is, at warp though, the eddies aren't that much of a problem. It's mostly when you're moving through regular space. So once a warp bubble is established and you guys jump to warp, you might occasionally get a bump, and that is literally at warp and the bizarre physics that is warp speed.
Yeah.
It is the product of typically running across more than about a dozen eddies at any given moment. Otherwise, the Ross wouldn't be affected. But leaving warp, you've all been informed that these eddies and these gravimetric disturbances can possibly be a problem.
We'll monitor his stress and performance. It's a very high stakes task for him. So.
Yes. But also, he doesn't get to be as reckless as I assume he wants to be.
Well, but we took him on because this is his element because he's such an intuitive pilot and because sensors aren't going to do dick for us.
No.
Hey.
Okay.
It's not your fault.
I know.
The sensors don't do dick.
I know. Just don't insult the machines.
Jane's sitting at her desk going,
Who are you
"Sensors
talking
aren't doing
to?"
dick." Technical term.
Yeah. I'll say.
I'll make a note.
We're gonna go ahead and
I'm gonna like finding this note later.
yeah.
Like, what was I? This is a technical term.
So,
We should come up with an acronym for it.
emerging from your ready room, just in time to hear Vryn swivel in his chair and say, "Captain, we're actually coming into visual range of the particle fountain right now."
All right, what do we have on a preliminary scan? Look up.
Can I roll a scan?
You can, but at long-range sensors, you're only going to really be able to detect the presence of the particle fountain. You're not going to be able to get a good enough reading just yet.
She's very excited.
Yeah, so go ahead and make a roll.
Yay,
Who wants to roll for the
science
Ross?
I don't do it unless someone else wants to.
Go on.
Science, reason, difficulty 2.
Yay. Yay. Oh,
Oh, yes!
Wait, no, stop.
That is a 20.
Okay, well, hold on, my friend.
Oh, we didn't have any momentum to take.
That's correct. There's no momentum.
Okay,
yet.
hold on,
Unless
my
you burn a
friend.
threat to get
Um,
momentum.
Can I do... Jesus. Okay, well, you know
There's no
what?
momentum.
Crit from Ross for what that's worth.
Oh
Can I do cautious science?
no.
no,
because
no,
you
no,
have
no,
to
no,
say
no, no,
momentum.
no.
Unless you want to spend a threat to gain
Buddy?
momentum.
Yeah. It's gonna
We're
be
bound.
fun.
Let's go.
Spend it before the
Yeah, okay,
It's
well,
take-
fine. Let's just...
It's
let's
succeeding at cost.
Yeah.
So far.
Just,
Okay.
we're
we
good.
Did you
got-
have one success though?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
one success.
Yeah,
we
so
have
we have
3.
2 from you because that looks
Okay.
That's
or is that a
yeah.
6?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 6.
Okay, then we have a total of 3.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pull a threat.
Okay.
We don't have
Okay,
our little
great.
momentum.
Great.
I'm going to pull one level of threat.
Yeah, we don't have momentum chips over here.
Yeah, can we grab
You
some momentum?
should.
No.
Oh, all right.
I think we have the correct number. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
we're gonna.
We'll just
We'll
keep
keep
track.
a track over here.
Jane's excited.
Cool.
Jane needs to calm down.
Coming up on the view screen, you see, after a quick scan that comes up on the view screen, you actually see a distortion of color effects immediately appear as you see this particle fountain. Even at maximum magnification, it's still somewhat difficult to see.
What spectrum is that variation on? I assume it is altered and compressed into the visual spectrum so that we can see that something's going on, but it could
It
equally
is.
be happening in gamma.
It's literally the sensors having trouble detecting from this distance. You're only reading the presence of a massive rupture in subspace, but you actually are not registering anything else at this distance. But that's only a matter of time when you guys come out of warp. But at the moment, you can't get a detailed sensor scan.
Well, the best I can tell from here is that something is there. And
Yeah.
I think we know that already. Sorry, Captain, I did not mean to take that tone with you.
Captain, if I may,
Yes, Chief.
I would look for your orders on shields. If we have our shields at full capacity, it'll protect the ship, but it might interfere with some of the sensor readings. How would you like us to proceed?
I would like first and foremost to establish where the safe margins are. We know a safe distance exists. That might be the alpha quadrant, but one exists in principle. Once we've established what that perimeter might roughly be, accounting for the unpredictability of the particle fountain, then we can keep shields down and take a look from outside that perimeter and shields up from within. I'd also like to get some probes out and get some preliminaries. If one busts, I would far prefer that than if poor Ross gets hurt.
I'd like to send a probe out, for sure.
Actually, if I could borrow either yourself or a member of your staff, we could get that up and running real quick.
Excellent. Do it.
Me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's go.
Come on, then.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make. I think this would be. Typically, it's not this much. It's not this involved. But if you're trying to work together with the chief science officer to basically build a probe to scan,
Yeah.
I would say this is going to be relatively straightforward. I wouldn't say this is an extended task.
Okay.
So why don't we say that y'all are doing this while the Ross is on approach?
Yep.
I'm going to set the difficulty for this at 3.
Okay.
and pick. I think you would probably be the leader of this.
I
And
think
then
so,
you
too.
can contribute your. I would say either. No, this would be control science for you,
Okay, great.
and this would be control engineering.
So, just so that I'm establishing before anything is rolled,
Okay.
I want these probes to establish the safe distance and that perimeter that entails, and then I want it to monitor the frequency that we'll need on the shields too. I want as much information as possible,
Sure.
but that specifically.
I
Okay.
love shield harmonics. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so it's
take a moment.
I'm going to do cautious engineering,
Okay.
and it was control engineering, and the difficulty you said was
Did
3.
you have one momentum?
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause,
From the Ross roll.
Ross correct.
Okay.
No.
Cool.
Okay.
So yeah, control engineering difficulty is 3. Go ahead and make your roll 2. And
Oh,
nice.
great.
Okay.
And then can I say I'm using my sensor knowledge for this?
Yes.
Can I use the focus?
Yep,
Great.
absolutely.
And that's 3 for you.
And I had 2. So
Okay.
a total of 5.
Yeah.
So total 5 successes. So pull 2 momentum.
How's that possible?
An assist is only one.
Assist is
die.
only one.
Oh,
die.
dang.
Oh.
Yeah,
Dang.
that's why I was like, the math is
Oh, you rolled 2.
2, 4.
But
So
we still got 3
Still-
total.
Still critted.
Yeah.
Because that's Rave as a science officer. So still
we still have
crit.
2
So,
momentum.
Great.
Because that's 4 successes. You got 2.
Right.
Yeah.
So just to clarify for
Thank you.
stats,
Thank you very much.
I rolled and I got 2 successes, and Raven and the assist rolled and got a crit, so that adds another 2 successes.
Correct.
Yeah, so 1 momentum.
So
So
one
we-
momentum.
Got one momentum.
We did it.
So as you're all nearing the Jotam system,
Actually, wait. Before I'm going to spend this, we have 2 probes.
you're going to.
Spend that extra momentum to gain an extra advantage.
Is it 1 momentum or is it 2 momentum
two.
for an
No, it's
advantage?
two.
It's
Yeah.
2 momentum.
Even on a spend from a win? Nah.
Yeah,
Never mind.
because you only got 1. So, so in the time that it takes you to calibrate this probe, loading it up into the torpedo bays, and as you head back to the bridge, you both arrive just in time as the Ross comes out of warp. The starfield realigns, and you see the great expanse of space ahead of you with this slight purple splash off in the distance, as though you were catching the glimpse of an ancient nebula. But right before you is a spectacular visage of one of the most dangerous celestial phenomena that Starfleet has ever encountered, and one of the most unknown, particle fountain.
How do you like the view, Ambassador?
Can't argue with it. I don't think I would win a diplomatic tete-a-tete with that.
I wouldn't put it past you. I'd put your rhetorical fireworks up against stellar ones here any day.
I appreciate your vote of confidence, Captain.
Turn your phone off.
It was me.
Whoever
It was yours. Seriously,
That was
mine's
my
on.
phone.
Was it?
No.
Oh, mine's on silent. And off.
I'm not taking the blame this year.
I want to see how close we can get to that thing.
All right, so as you are all coming out of warp, would you like to launch the probe? What are you all doing? What is the order?
Yes, we're launching
Okay,
probe.
we're launching.
Yeah.
There is a launch probe function.
Okay.
Fortunately, it is a task that does not require a roll and has no difficulty. However, it reduces the difficulty of tasks to make a sensor sweep with regards to phenomena near the probe by 2,
Make it.
determines the range for scan from weakness from the probe, and means that hazards that result from proximity to the phenomena affect the probe instead of the vessel. Bow, 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 bow.
Reduce it by 3 because I'm going to use that. Actually, you know what? Instead of reducing it by 3, I'll give you a free momentum spin for obtain information.
Yeah.
So it's still reduced by 2 and
So it's reduced by 2, and I'm going to give a free obtain information spend
great.
because of your calibration for it. So let's make a roll.
Yay!
So the difficulty of scanning this particle fountain is 4. Reduced by 2 because of the probe, it's now going to be difficulty 2.
Yay!
Taking momentum for
Yep.
extra die.
Yep.
And then with the Ross too, for sensors.
Computer sensors. I'm
Your sensors. All right, let's see what happens. You hear.
Do this.
Okay. Actually, I think we're in. Am I still using control science?
This is reason science.
Reason science. Better. That's better. Okay, great. Because then that means I've got 4.
That would be 5 with the one from the Ross.
Ooh.
Momentum.
5 from the Ross.
No more than
It was a
with
5 on the
total
die,
5.
which brings it to 5.
My mind was kind of bending there for a second. All right,
She's a hot shit.
What was the difficulty of that?
the difficulty was hold on, everybody.
Yeah.
That's right.
Difficulty was 4, so it's minus 2, so
1.
1. Okay, cool. So you guys got that. All right, so this probe launches.
Great.
You see this orange. This what's that?
It was 4
originally
down
a
to
4.
2.
Oh, it was 4
Yeah.
originally.
Oh,
And
so
it-
now we get 3 momentum.
It was originally 4. It went down to 2.
There we go.
We're having a hard time with math today.
Yeah.
It's Monday. y'all.
Okay, so you see this bright, vibrant orange-yellow trail as this probe launches,
What do we name it?
passing off.
Ooh, it's a cactus.
Honk.
Honk. What does honk
Do you
mean?
want it to do good things?
No, I wanted to see how close we can get. It's playing a dangerous game. Let's go.
How could you name it Honk when clearly it's playing chicken?
Oh no.
Do better, the cat.
I'm going to
Captain.
go. Abandon ship.
My captain's watching me, but my one probe launches
Okay,
beautifully.
Our one probe launches.
Our one probe launches.
the information starts coming up
great.
on your science station immediately. There's a massive surge. You're detecting a massive surge in tetrion particles.
Okay.
We've now said it 3 times. We have officially summoned Jody.
It is a massive surge in tetrion particles exploding out of subspace. It's approximately 112 kilometers in diameter, and the blast extends 18,000 kilometers from the point of origin.
Can you repeat that last piece of information?
The blast from the point of blast, the explosion range is essentially 18,000 kilometers out.
Great.
So it is quite large, which
Yeah.
is different than the dimensions you read on long-range sensors at Narendra Station, suggesting something has altered or something has changed. Or
Does it
perhaps
seem like it's moving or getting smaller?
Interestingly, well, you're going to get one free obtain
sorry.
information spend. So
Okay.
your first free obtain information spend is one more piece of knowledge from this that you don't have to spend momentum for, and that is you're also detecting a very not a dangerous level, but a very low level presence of chronoton particles.
Oh no.
Okay, I do not know what that means.
Those, it's very
Chrono
low,
time.
Oh.
which means there could,
Yeah.
it means there's possible time dilation effects happening
Oh,
around.
wonderful.
And that's what you get for one free information spend.
Time shenanigans this soon.
Okay.
So
Yes. Can I?
do another one. Or?
No. For my information spend, is there any? Can I get like blast patterns?
Yes. Judging from the information we had
Yeah,
and this
yes.
new information, can we calculate a trajectory
Yes.
of where it's moving
The
to?
splash zone.
Yeah.
Concho
Expanded
section.
Tetrion particles.
I basically want to map it.
Tetrion particles are notoriously difficult to trace and follow,
right.
but you are getting there's such a high concentration of them. You do have a basic understanding of where they're blasting out of this, so you don't really need to do an obtain information spend for that question specifically.
I think I actually want to know the
Chronoton?
Chronoton particles.
chronoton particles.
Your
Can I?
sensors are detecting the presence of chronoton particles, but
got
not at levels that are alarming.
Okay.
It's not terribly unusual to see celestial phenomenon like this that
Okay.
are warping through gravitational
Makes
effects.
sense.
Yeah, but they are present, so it is notable.
Okay. Great. So technically, I still have my information spent.
Yeah, if you wanted to burn
Great.
another one, you could. If you wanted to.
You know what? I feel like we should send our second probe out.
We have a second probe?
Wait,
No.
no, do we not? Do we
You don't
need
have
to
a
get
second
Fuck.
You can still send a second probe out,
Can we send a second probe out?
but
We still have information.
But as a GM, my question would be why?
Yeah. We should
Because
ask a question.
an obtained information spend will give you the same
yeah.
information.
I guess.
And then we
For free.
For free.
For free. So
Yeah.
what I would suggest is we need to find out where this is coming from. So if we could pinpoint sort of an origin, like a center or something like that. Is it a fountain spouting from somewhere? Mm-hmm. If we can find that origin, we can find out what sort of reaction is
Right,
happening.
because it's like a volcano. So
Yeah.
what's the Earth's mantle
Right.
underneath?
What's
But
the mantle, man?
yeah.
What's the core?
What's the core of the Earth?
Yeah, there you go.
That it's coming from. Do we want that information? You know what? Let's go for that information.
Sure.
What's the core
Yeah.
of the Earth, Eric?
Yeah.
The probe is returning information that indicates that wherever the origin of this explosion is, it's coming right out of subspace.
Uh-huh.
Which is in keeping with some readings that Starfleet had already detected before. Apparently, particle fountains emerge or erupt from subspace.
Right.
They just don't know what causes them. what causes this mixture of particles to emerge. However, your scanning of chronoton and tetryon particles is a new piece of information. You're also detecting, with that information spend, I'll give you this, you're also detecting the presence of verteron particles. And when you mention that at the science station, you hear to your left, Vrin just goes, oh, God. Just kind of like gives this reaction of like frustration. Verteron particles are particles that typically travel faster than light, and they're usually found around wormholes.
Wormholes.
But that's actually not the most... As much as that is fascinating, because it's giving you a good snapshot of what's going on here, the most startling piece of information that the probe brings back is that there is an object. There's an object out there.
Yep.
Oh boy. It's just an object.
That's all you're detecting. About 12.
What do you
12
mean
See
just
why
an object?
this is
like
why
that?
we need 2 probes.
We have a UFO. Is that what you're saying?
The object is about 12,000 kilometers from the point of the eruption.
Did you say 12,000 or 2,000?
12,000 kilometers.
Great,
6
and
within
we,
the blast.
6 from the blast. Yeah.
6 within. Yes.
Which is about the border of where it would be dangerous to get any closer, judging from the information you guys have. This object, whatever it is, seems to be just on the periphery. But it's also worth noting that verteron particles, because of how they travel, they're not intrinsically dangerous to the ship. Tetryon particles can be really problematic.
They have random momentum, so they can't be picked on sensors.
Pretty much. And they wreak havoc on shields. Tetrion's not good for shields at all.
Those were the ones that were used to yoink Voyager in the first place.
Tetryon is also typically a residue that's left behind from cloaked vessels and other such things. Whenever you see those kinds of disturbances, they can also be used to detect cloaked vessels. But as your captain said, Tetryons are notoriously unpredictable.
And sometimes there's...
And in this kind of concentration, they can be dangerous. But you're also getting an idea of why it is that these have been so deadly to Starfleet vessels, because so much of the energy that is being exploded out into space right now cannot be tracked. So it's hard to say when you're getting too close to the edge of the volcano. In this case, it looks like your probe has given you a marker, and whatever this object is that seems to be just on the edge has also given you a marker.
It seems like the perimeter is going to change. We can tell from the scans that this is a fountain that is active. It's actively spreading. So whatever perimeter we determine is going to change over time. It's a random movement exploding outwards.
What are the chances that this could have been generated?
Well, considering there's an object in the center of it, and it's a Terran subspace.
It's not in the center of it.
Oh, there's an
It's-
object in it.
No, it's 12,000 kilometers
Right.
from it.
Within the blast zone.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the trajectory of that object?
Brenda's gonna have to roll on that, or you want to roll on that? 'Cause
Yeah, I'll
you
roll
actually
on
got
it.
sensors. So
Yep.
why don't you go
I'd be
ahead
into
and? This is a reason science check. The difficulty is 3.
Great.
And I sensors check. 3 successes, my friend.
No from us.
3, you hit it. It is at station keeping. It's actually not moving. It is.
Can we try to send a tight beam comm?
Oh, comms.
Comms. Yeah, let's try to talk to it.
That's
What?
that's me.
But that's an object. Okay.
You know what? Might as well try. Better than sending out probe number 2.
We don't know whether or not it's a vessel. Objects.
I'm going to try
be
and hail
offline.
it then.
Well, actually, hailing is through security, but in combat, that's what we would turn to. Like, yeah. But if you guys want to try to hail this thing,
Yeah.
so you're sending out. Go ahead and make a roll then.
So it's a difficulty 0 on my sheet, but
Yeah, I'm gonna spend threat to activate the traits of the Shackleton expanse. The electromagnetic disturbances around here, near and even at this range from the particle flow, is actually gonna make this difficult.
okay.
So I'm gonna raise the difficulty to 1.
Sure. And what's my what am I rolling here for Ross?
Communications and
Com-
command or engineering?
it would be communications
Because it's-
engineering.
We're still trying to establish. So.
Correct.
So what are those
Normally
numbers?
command.
That's
actually?
9 plus 3. 12.
So I need to roll a 12 or under. Cool.
Do you want to take?
Well, just on the
momentum
Ross
factor?
assist.
Oh.
You're rolling whatever you're rolling.
Oh, me?
Yep.
Comms and
Well, So technically, you're going to be rolling. Prawl's stats. So I
Okay.
should give those to you.
Yes, I would like those.
So you're rolling for Prawl right now.
I am Prawl.
So this
Very
is
sure.
Uncanny.
this is control plus engineering.
Is it? I thought it was comms engineering.
That's for the Ross.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 13.
I need to roll 13. Yeah, I think that's 2 crits.
2 crits.
Maybe it depends. What is his?
He doesn't have any specialties that would apply.
Okay, then but I rolled a 2 on one of those.
It wouldn't apply. That's
No
not
problem.
correct.
Then I have
Yeah.
2 successes.
2 successes.
Null from us.
Okay, so 2 successes is what you needed.
Cool.
So you hear a lot of
Then let's
static
keep
coming on
moving.
across the channel as you hear the chirping sound as Prawl hails, and he looks at the computer for a moment. Says, "Lots of interference, Captain." No response. If it's a ship, they either didn't hear us or there's no one there, or they're ignoring us.
I would like. If we got a little bit closer, just a little bit, I might be able to sense if there's anything out there.
What kind of range do those abilities have?
I've never really tested them out in space, Captain. I couldn't tell you.
It's also worth noting, Vryn swivels around and says that if we can get closer, maybe another sensor scan, it's possible I can get it on visual.
How far out are we right now?
Right
from
now
the
you're about
tip of the blast radius?
What's that?
From the edge of the blast radius.
From the edge of the blast radius, you guys are about 17,000 kilometers out.
Okay. All right.
Captain,
There's a lot of interference.
if I may,
Please.
it might cut the interference and reduce some of the risk if we maybe send a shuttle to get closer with an away team. Trying to maneuver the entire Ross closer puts everybody at danger, and I won't be able to modulate the shields fast enough.
My instinct is to keep the Ross outside of the perimeter, but as close as possible, and to send a shuttle in from there if, for instance, we need to retrieve anyone from that object inside the blast zone, if indeed it is any kind of vessel. I want to have the Ross as near to the shuttle as possible because the shuttle will be more fragile, and if it needs to make a quick break, I want her to be able to fly home real fast. We're on the same page.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Right, so let's. I would agree with that.
So
You look confused, Ty.
I just don't know what's happening. Are we making an away team for the shuttle?
We are making a away team, we're just getting closer.
we're going
Captain
to.
will tell us when we're making an away team. You hear Prawl say.
Okay, yes.
All right. Vren, take us in 23,000 kilometers from the center.
Aye,
So
Captain.
that's 5,000 from the edge of the blast radius.
Yeah.
We're coming into visual range of the object.
Not.
The cat.
Go ahead and pull 1 point of power off the Ross.
And can I roll another sensor scan?
Yep. Go ahead and make a roll. Difficulty is 2.
Great.
Take a momentum for an extra die.
Yeah, I need that.
roll for the Ross?
Two successes. 2 successes.
One from Ross.
Nice.
What was the difficulty?
The difficulty was 2.
Oh, sweet.
Because you guys. So as the Ross begins to move a little bit closer, you can see the range, the distance closing on the display. There's a little bit of a. Doesn't rattle the ship a little bit, but it's like this baritone like rumble through the hull, and Vryn just says, "Compensating. Should be good."
Is that getting into our inertial dampers?
No.
All right.
A little bit of a particle disturbance. Pretty much anticipated at this range. Sensor sweep is successful. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Coming into visual range now. Brings it up. You see this appear up, highlighted against the backdrop of this extraordinary event. You see what looks like sort of like a rough diamond-shaped observation platform. It is essentially a Scale 4 space station. That's
Do you have an identifier on the
scan.
make of that station? Whose is it?
With that scan, that's not even an obtain information check. This is a whole. There is nothing in the Federation database.
Can. Okay.
It is not identified.
Okay, I
Is it
feel like there's a
very
few ways we can
sudden?
do this. We can either chief tech, like if we can figure out like what this is made of. So I feel like there's a few ways we
Kat,
can
are
do
you
this.
calling a meeting?
I'm calling a meeting between you and me.
Oh, just us?
As friends.
Okay.
Okay.
Step into my office.
What?
But we can involve a lot of the officers and help us think it through.
Oh, true. I just want to bounce some ideas off of you right now.
Sure. Okay.
We made a whole conference room.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so true.
I'll see you in 2.
Okay.
Gather up.
But why don't you call it?
Okay. Yeah. Of course.
It's just because you're empathic and you always are aware. Paul is so annoyed right now.
Oh, yes.
He is so
I
irritated.
kind of stick close to Prawl.
He's sitting at his station and he's keeping a straight face, but the more casual the banter is happening on the bridge, you can feel his irritation levels. Just that officer in him is just getting so annoyed right now.
I think that as is Prawl staying on the bridge?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
as
been
I
ordered to.
pass Prawl, I just kind of gently put an arm on his, like a hand on his forearm, and like just squeeze it very gently and keep going.
He gets a reaction immediately. When you do that, he just goes like agnowledging, like, oh right,
Got me.
They got me.
Yeah,
I forgot. I can hide this from everyone else
just
except for
a
maybe
very
Exio
gentle
and
squeeze.
right. Okay, so everyone's going
Space
into
volcanoes.
who's going into Captain's Ready Room?
I am.
I'm assuming I'm assuming I
Senior
haven't
staff.
been-
Do you guys want to go in? So do you want to
I'm
go?
readying this. I'm summoning staff.
Okay, so you.
It's a meeting.
So
I'm
it's
not
not
going to
that.
leave people out of scenes.
All right, cool. So you actually go into the conference room.
Yes.
You go into the briefing room. So everybody assembles in the briefing room. Everyone settles into that nice, long, glossy black table, sits down. You see the holographic projection, which is a nice improvement from the just wall screen
Right.
in the old Galaxy class.
Everyone looks.
But you see, as you all enter, immediately Friend walks over and inputs some controls, and you see it transfer, and you see a 3-dimensional representation using the brilliant holographic technology of the USS Ross.
Why, thanks.
And it appears, and you see this little silhouette, this darkened silhouette of this diamond-shaped looking. It's very. I don't want to say crude looking, but it does look like sort of a rough cut diamond, and the tech does not look anything familiar.
It's a diamond in the rough.
The architecture isn't familiar in any way.
Would imagine that this space station has been here a lot longer than that fountain has, and it's very likely that they got caught by surprise.
I would love to see if we could extract some of the materials that space station is made out of and examine those and see where.
Maybe we
part
should
of
be focused on the potential people that are stuck on that space station.
that.
Assuming they
That
didn't
too.
themselves.
That's what I would like to focus on. Material is nice too.
Do we have any... The old scans that we had, was there any record of a station that size in this area?
Prawl leans forward and says, "No, Captain, there hasn't been anything from the Admiral. But long-range scans from the Ranger Station wouldn't have detected a station at this size, this distance."
Oh, we
No one's
could-
charted this area?
Vryn smiles and pipes up and goes, "No. It's only been scouted through long-range sensors and telescopes."
Lucky us.
Sounds
Is
like
there-
we have a possible first contact situation on our hands.
Is there a way to scan for life forms? Do we know if there's any on this station?
We don't know much yet. More scans will tell us more if they can, but they're not responding to hails. The interference was enough of a problem.
If I had to hazard a guess, and this is just off of a gut instinct, from the information we gathered, it looks to me as if this might be a race that comes from subspace. It seems like a rupture, and perhaps it's our universe or our space reacting. That's creating the tetryon particles or the chronoton particles.
Maybe the space station got blasted into ours. Yes, like it got full of, like, whee, you know?
There are chronoton particles, and it is a bit dated looking.
It's worth pointing out, Vryn speaks up and says that according to all the Starfleet records that I was studying when it comes to like flying close to these things, that no starship has been able to survive any close contact with the particle fountain.
Maybe
Or
it
they
just
gone
got
somewhere else.
pew-pewed somewhere else. Yes.
How
see?
are they doing it then? They're very close.
Well, if some things that are hazardous to us might not be hazardous to others. If they are a species that's coming from subspace, they might be living off of this.
So how can we get close enough to communicate with them and find out if they need help?
It sounds like it's a job for someone who doesn't need to worry about that.
Hello.
This is the warp core all over again, isn't it?
No, it's not. Let's not say that.
Fair.
I can put an away team together, or I can do this as a solo mission, Captain.
No, I'll certainly, given the dangers zone, want our best pilot with you on the job.
On the shuttle?
Yes.
Vryn smiles, says, "Shuttles are what I do."
Excellent.
Yes. I think we might need you on the scans for that, for communications.
You are at the top
Absolutely.
of my list.
I'll assemble a security team at once, Captain.
If there's anyone injured, would they be able to get to the Ross fast enough for me to remedy assistance?
If we're getting interference just from comms, we couldn't really rely on beams. All right. There might even be a first contact. I'll stay back. You kids have fun.
Actually, Captain, if I may, I request to stay on the Ross as well. I think I can be more of a help here, adjusting some of the equipment and the sensors, and might be able to clean it up enough to get an emergency beam out.
I'd like to take a quick insight check. Thank you.
Sure. Are you resisting this? Okay, difficulty's 1.
3.
What is Captain Sull's instincts telling
Is
you
it
about what you just
Is
said?
it about being a good idea, or is it also about the thing that we talked about?
Yes, but it's both. I think it's a good idea, but at this time it's justified, and he sees it as justified. So it's not hiding. This is the most logical course of action, and it happens to align with my beliefs.
Exactly. Perfect. Ideal outcome. And, right, do you have any recommendations for if they run into engineering trouble out there, then?
I believe Ensign Dari might be able to help out.
All right, prep her to go out with the rest of you.
Can I make a request, Captain? Vryn says.
You can certainly try.
Can I take the runabout? She's big enough for the shields.
You're better.
I love runabouts.
Appreciate you allowing me to go along as well.
Well, please, all of you, if our civilian ambassador is somehow harmed, I will be in the deepest trouble. Keep them safe. Thank you.
No one's getting harmed.
Get ready.
Crawl sages rather flatly.
Dismissed.
I get it. All right. Assembling in Shuttle Bay 1. You walk in.
In slow motion.
As y'all are moving into Shuttle Bay 1, you already are hearing the echoed chamber of this grand shuttle bay that takes up the entire back part of the USS Ross's saucer section. Big enough to store 2 Scale 2 shuttles. A runabout, and of course the scout ship. This shuttle bay, being that it is one of the Ross's traits as an expansive shuttle bay, you can constantly hear like over the intercom of like orders being given out and people organizing the work crews that are coming through here. Everyone stands at attention when senior staff walks onto the deck, and Vryn doesn't. The moment the doors to the shuttle bay and you all like channel through and they open.
I don't go in quite yet.
Okay.
I have one more question to these two.
Okay.
Before I go.
All right, cool. They're down in Shuttle Bay 1 then prepping.
Great. May I bend your ear, both of you?
Oh, consider it Ben.
And also, I would like that.
Of course.
And would you help me assess the danger?
That being the ring, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, tetryon particles are just flat out dangerous, so who knows?
Of course, but this is technically my heart out there, so please help me keep beating.
Well, I think the best that I can offer is sort of, we could download maybe a copy of you here and keep
I keep very, very stern backups.
Can we jury-rig some temporary targeted shielding specific to the particles in question? It might not be a permanent thing, but it might at least help.
Yes.
Well, the frequencies from Voyager and other encounters with tetryon particles allowed us to create a somewhat pattern that sort of randomly modulates through the frequencies. It's not effective all the time, but it can bounce some of it back.
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Run it real quick.
Okay.
We'll give you a hand if you need it.
Yes, please.
You have the momentum to use this to create an advantage if you want. So
Yeah.
you can just do it.
Boop, boop.
So you basically come up with a localized shielding source for when you all begin.
Wait.
take the
What do
costume.
you want to be wearing? Is it a scrunchie? Is it a bracelet? Is it a necklace? Is it a pair of shoes?
It would literally have to be some kind of attachment
sorry.
that
To the
fits
ring.
in.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
we're
is
talking
this-
about bringing in a scrunchie. Come on.
Putting
a bracelet.
I'm talking about you're literally talking about like jury rigging something that's close to a particle emitter in order to attach that to. So it's you're actually looking at a bulky piece of tech.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's what it looks like. It's a
okay.
big corsage style rip strap that's connected through like a couple of wires to the
Yes.
ring. So it's like a bracelet ring combo.
Oh, it's one of those 90s
Like bracelet into that
bracelets.
7-9 kind of thing.
Yes, that's it. And it comes down to the fingertip too.
Ooh!
Oh,
Are we going to prom?
I don't know what that is.
Stay safe. My heart's gonna be out there.
Well, thank you both very much.
That was conveniently fast. Well done,
Very.
Captain.
Thank you for having the
have our
tools
moments.
on standby.
Ooh, do I get one?
No, that would have been a time elapse, but that's okay.
Now, run back to the ship.
Even so, it didn't take 100 years.
Even
So.
so, it didn't take
Yes.
100 years, yeah.
Do I get one? Please.
I'll talk to the arboretum. They might get a real corsage for you.
I like flowers.
Noted.
I also note.
So,
Also allergic. Just kidding.
Don't we always love them?
by the time you reach Shuttle Bay 1, Vryn already has the shuttle primed and ready to launch. So, is everyone-
Excellent.
Runabouts are nice travel companions. They are spacious enough. They're not cramped like typical Type 2 or Type 3 shuttlecraft. Or in this case, Type 8, I believe, is what the Ross is equipped with. But Runabout's big enough that when you all settle in, there's back areas and even like a living space in the back. And Vryn says, "What's up?" You look like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I did. But then,
What's up,
What?
you say?
no, I want to know what kind of sensors a runabout usually has.
Standard sensors, standard Federation
Okay,
sensors.
great.
Yeah, it's not. They're not. It's not quite as. Here's what I want to know.
Yes.
I'm gonna.
We might relay to you a bit as well.
Great.
Kind of deal.
That'd be super.
By the way, just because it's one of the things that we haven't done on the Ross yet is it's kind of a ship tradition that after the first flight of a shuttlecraft, you get to pick the new name for the shuttlecraft if it's her first mission. This is the Runabout's first mission. So I'm putting this out there right now. She's called the San Antonio. But upon her arrival, when she returns from her first mission, it's not unusual for a crew to choose a new name for the
It's a
shuttlecraft.
Danube
they
class,
so,
yes?
Mhm.
All right, got it.
Danube class shuttlecraft.
Okay.
So you see Vryn just say, San Antonio departing. And the shuttle launches and just immediately is the tractor beams lock onto the shuttle and begin to gently push right out. And Vryn is just sitting at the controls just going, oh man, I haven't flown a runabout since the war. I love these things. These are good shuttles.
Yes.
Good shuttles. Workhorse of the shuttle fleets. Did you know that?
I think Olin is just laser focused on you right now.
Just don't mention it. I think I'm doing pretty good about bringing it up. Is the look you're getting? that's what you're feeling off me.
And then there's this as the tractor beam disengages and you all are free floating in space. And
This
San
is
Antonio
my
just
very
kind of
first away
drifts.
mission.
And he says, look at this. And he brings it up on the computer console and you see the Ross. Y'all are floating away from Shuttle Bay 1. You can even see people inside on the other side of the force field walking. You actually do catch a few of the crew members waving as the Shuttle Bay doors begin to close again. And he says,
I was
maneuvering.
one of my nurse staff.
He says, maneuvering thrusters. And away we go. 1/4 impulse power, 1/2 impulse. And you see the Ross. 1/2 impulse. Again, shuttlecraft gives you a good instinct of how quick 1/2 impulse power is, because the Ross immediately starts falling into the distance.
Isn't that half C?
What's that?
Isn't that half C? Like impulse is C, isn't it?
Yeah.
Frack, that's fast.
Well, they've got a lot of kilometers to
That's
go.
correct.
Yeah.
A lot of kilometers to
And only
Not
one
a
episode to
freaking
do
joke.
it in.
Not at half-life light speed.
You see him happy. He says, we're about 3 minutes away from contact. Everybody get cozy.
I'll take a nap.
For all 3 minutes.
Vryn says,
I was going.
Vryn turns to you and says, can I get a scan of what we're about to run into?
Absolutely.
Is there a place to dock? That's my big thing. Otherwise, we'll use the transporter in the back.
Scan.
Yep. So, yep.
Take
One
a
second.
momentum.
Vote on this.
Did you take a momentum for an extra die?
Oh, can I?
Yes, you can.
Please, always do it every time.
Yes.
We have a momentum.
I'm giving you
Whenever you're in
permission.
your really good power roll.
Always be
Can I get
cautious.
runabout stat for the sensors?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Thank you very much. That's
You
me.
are welcome.
Yeah. You
was
just
the
hold that
difficulty?
hand there.
Oh gosh, I was freaking carrying this body yesterday forever. Long Beach.
Stand by.
But also, Long Beach.
3.
The difficulty for the scan?
Yeah.
At this range, the difficulty for scan is actually 2.
Sweet.
So, but give me 1 second. I'm just flipping through the book here. On ye old PDFer. On Pidif, here we go. Don't have a cost runabout. It is computer sensors, sensor science rather. So 7.
All right. 8. Alas.
Nice.
We still got 2.
4 successes.
We still got 2 moments.
Yeah.
So we have
Nicely
4
done.
total right now.
Momentum.
Okay.
We had 2 already.
Oh, we spent them.
We had 5 earlier.
As this thing is coming into view,
Okay.
you see the sensors look like they're being played havoc with, because you catch a couple of shadows on the sensors, and it almost looks like there's multiple objects out there, and then it's one object again. And when you get back to tracking it down to one object, you were able to get a pinpoint that this station does in fact look like it has a docking port. However, from the looks of the docking port, it looks like you're probably gonna have to beam over.
Okay.
And for lack of a better way of describing exactly what you're seeing in the sensors, the docking port looks like it's designed for a very small vessel. And it almost, to you, judging from what you know about like Earth history and whatnot, it kind of reminds you of some really old, like this would be a place that a shuttle pod, like an old school shuttle pod would dock with, and then have to have like multiple fail safes to decompress and allow people to enter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's an old school docking port is what it looks like.
Huh.
Am I getting anything from out this far?
There's somebody on that station.
Body.
That
as in
much you can
singular?
sense.
Okay.
Somebody.
I think I'm getting something.
Yes.
Somebody's on that station.
You're definitely sensing somebody is on that station.
One person? Are you catching?
I'm only catching one thing.
It's
but
vague, so it's hard to say if there's multiple people, but there's definitely a presence on the station.
very vague. I can't tell if it's more than one person, but there is definitely something on that station.
There's an echo.
It's the only way to do it.
Okay, so I'm.
Listen,
so I
give my
relate
Deanna
the
Troy moment.
fact, and we're all on comms together right now.
With,
We should keep comms open.
You can hail.
Yeah, I would like to. Oh, you know what? We should see if we can hail them from this.
This close up.
From this close.
Hail the station.
do you have
They'll
center
answer.
chair?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the leader of the away mission.
Yeah.
That's
Hello.
Xerax,
Yeah.
So I explained exactly what you said about the shadows, and
Yes.
my personal opinion is probably those time particles that we were seeing floating around. That might be what's causing it, but that's purely hypothesis right now. I think
Aren't
that
they
we
fun?
should try. It's wonderful. You know, I'm having a wonderful time right now.
I can tell.
Commander. It's beautiful. But I think we should try contacting the person there first before we try docking.
Yes. Let's see if we can get a better signal this close up.
Prawl says opening hailing frequencies.
2 successes.
What's the runabout for communications?
Communications.
Communications is command, maybe at this range. It's not that hard to establish.
According to this, yeah, it would be command at this range. So, yeah, it'd be comms. So comms and command. So it is 9.
Okay.
No.
9.
We got 2 from
2.
Prawl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Connection established. No reply.
Perhaps they are not a verbal species?
Entirely
Perhaps.
possible.
They're
Awesome.
they're unable to respond. They are unwilling to respond.
Well,
Also, look, depending on their technology, they may not be equipped to answer.
Possible.
I unfortunately am not close enough to sense any motive, just that there's a presence aboard the station.
It is
Well, that's motive enough for us to go there.
your sensor scans, by the way.
Yeah.
I should tell you.
Yeah.
They indicate that the station itself is currently the structure is scale 4.
Yes.
Judging from the positioning and the way and some of the power readings that you're getting from it, it would appear to be some kind of observation post. Like maybe a science station of some kind.
okay.
But difficult to tell just from this profile. It is currently running on minimal life support, and there are faint life signs.
What about it makes me think it's a science station?
Mostly the fact that from your scans, there are no defensive systems on the station.
Okay.
No defensive systems, and you do notice that it seems to be equipped with multiple sensor platforms, all of which apparently, before they went offline, it looks like their sensor platforms are much more archaic than yours. It looks like they're using, it looks like they're using what would be a step up from satellite dishes. Their sensor platforms look like you can tell where the sensor platforms are pointed at. Let's put it that way. So they look like they're quite ancient.
They're old school.
Like, look at. Are your scans clear enough to tell if there's any language written on the outside?
Actually, are my scans.
You're not gonna be able to detect any language. You'd have to get a visual on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally think that we should see if we can get down there.
Absolutely.
Because it seems, well, first of all, it doesn't seem like this structure is at least a threat to us. Definitely not equipped to shoot back at us, which is good to know. But it also just seems extremely outdated. And considering the time particles around here, I have, again, a few theories, but I would like to get a closer look before I just start shooting in the dark.
I feel like I remember something about how theories could be... Never mind.
I believe the priority would be getting the life forms off the ship before the blast comes any farther.
Absolutely.
Is the blast a danger? You hear Prawl say. And Vrin goes, there's nothing to indicate that the blast is getting better or worse. It's impossible to tell, to be honest. It's
Exactly. We don't
Then
know.
how about we be quite quick?
Yeah.
Minimal life support? Let's definitely be quick.
Would you recommend that we suit up then, in that case?
Very much so. We don't
that would be
actually
my
know if any of the
professional
particles have leaked inside this station.
Oh yeah, what is the makeup of the inside, like the...
Yeah, can I get a...
As I said, it is running on low power and is functioning with minimal life support, which means that the station is intact.
Right, but I still don't...
Still wear
I
your
don't
suits,
trust that.
everyone.
I would like everyone to
Right.
suit up. That would be my professional
Is it
opinion.
oxygen?
Minimal life support,
Yes.
so
Yes.
yes.
Okay. But that minimal life support can still mean other
any
breathing.
I would definitely have told you if it's not an oxygen atmosphere.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We go over there
No,
like,
it's okay. It's
and Exio's like, I feel fine.
I will never fault you for being thorough. Never, ever, ever. Not in Star Trek, especially.
Right, but like, my professional opinion is that we all still suit up because
Yes.
I don't know what's going to happen to me.
I fully appreciate your expertise. Everyone, why are you still not suited up?
All right. So for the next 10 minutes, everyone
Thank you.
suits up and gets in the enviro suits. Kits are taken, the medical kits.
Yes.
Um,
Please.
It's very strange to be in something that's Starfleet issue.
Prawl votes against bringing phaser rifles at the request of the two officers that are following with him. They reach down and make it sort of like just like a gentle grasp from the weapon. By the way, you have two security officers with you.
Right.
There's Lieutenant Nadra Badim. They, them, human.
Nadra.
Badim. They are former Maquis, and you would know this. Gina.
Yes.
Yeah, Exio would know that Nadra Badim is an ex-Maquis that joined Starfleet some years ago. And
they're
has,
human?
They are human.
Wow.
They, them, yeah.
Okay.
Then the next one is Lieutenant Rahane, who is he, him, and Acacian.
Yeah! Oh, hey! Cool.
What's
And
his
then-
name again?
Rahane,
Rahane.
R''Hain.
That's another cat.
And then, actually, there's three. And then the last one is Ensign Alex Nozumi. She, her.
Very quick for the kids at home. Who are the Maquis?
Oh yeah.
The Maquis. The Maquis are typically... The most common word used to describe the Maquis across the quadrants are terrorists. But what they classify themselves are as resistance movement against the oppression of the Cardassian Empire. However, the Maquis were destroyed during the later years of the Dominion War and have not been seen or heard from since. And it's very unlikely that any Maquis that would be around today would actually have any beef with Cardassians, mostly because the Cardassians themselves were nearly annihilated by oppressors. There's just not enough left. You would note, Nadra Badim hasn't displayed any adverse attitude towards the science officer at all. In fact, they seem to be completely normalized. Like, they don't even seem to notice. They're really focused on, like, checking the phaser power cells and whatnot. But there hasn't been a problem. And Prawl specifically requested them.
Great.
Yeah.
We missed the last one, by the way.
The last one is Ensign Alex Nozumi.
Alex Lazumi?
Nozumi.
Nozumi. Japanese last name.
Yep.
Okay.
Nozumi. Nozumi.
Nozumi-san.
And that was
What are the
she/her.
ranks of the first two
Human.
officers?
The first ranked Nadra is lieutenant.
Thank you.
They are lieutenants, and Rahane is also lieutenant.
Okay.
And Alex
And then Ensign.
Ensign Nozumi.
Yes.
And they're all security.
Yep, they're all security, and they're handpicked by Prawl.
Great.
I will give you this. It's real mild, but there was an emotional reaction from Lieutenant Badim the moment this mission began that felt close to apprehension, but you haven't felt it since. It feels like they've relaxed a little bit. They're really focused on their task. And they're listening to Prawl as Prawl's giving orders. No phaser rifles are going in there. Set your phasers to stun. We don't know who we're up against.
Can I do a rally task?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
You gonna use rally? Sure.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So what's that roll?
It is a presence command roll.
Presence command, and what is the effect?
A momentum generator.
Generates momentum?
Difficulty 0, momentum task, as I recall.
I believe
Rally
that's
to
correct.
momentum. Rally the troops.
That's what top it up.
Rallying my way, team.
Okay, so difficulty is 0.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your roll.
Rolls. Come on. Oh, I don't know why I did that.
To let me also
I
be special.
know. But away missions,
Right,
though.
but there's also no point to me.
Well, that's all right. All
Do you
right.
want to take a moment for an extra die?
Do you want an assist?
Nah, it's a 0. It's.
Oh, that's true.
It's a 0.
Yeah.
Let's just see if my speech falls flat.
You're a little before you, Bard.
Okay. I got 1.
So
Okay.
that's all we
We'll
needed.
get some momentum.
And we have 5
Really?
total.
5.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going in there with a
Yeah.
good pull of momentum.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the speech, though?
I guess. So, all right, everyone. Now, I know that this is not technically a rescue mission yet, and it is not a go in and murder everyone mission either. But we need to be safe because we don't know their intentions. We don't know if we are an enemy to them. We do not know anything about them. We could be harmful to them just being there. They may not be from our time. So everyone, just behave, follow orders, and stay safe.
Yes, Commander.
Go team.
Prawl orders 2 of the security officers to stay here on the shuttle,
Perfect.
and is going to be taking Lieutenant Rahane with him.
Okay.
So the Caitian's coming with.
Sweet.
Caitian's got like dark tan hair and like sharp green eyes in the yellow uniform, and you just see him nod as he kind of leans back and ding, 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 sets his phaser to stun and slides it into the holster. And the transporter on this particular shuttlecraft is 1. So 1 by 1, you all are going to be beaming over. You can do multiples at the same time, but it's in this particular instance, it's really not that big of a deal.
My guess is Rain goes first.
Yeah, Prawl and everybody's going to be going first, but it's not a complication. So 1 by 1, everyone in groups of in pairs, you all start beaming over.
Okay.
And then a few moments pass when you are all finally materialized inside the station. The interior of the station, the area you beamed into, just beyond the confines of the helmets, well, you're not in one, obviously.
No.
So everybody else looking around, you see this is a very darkened inside of the station. Minimal power is a good way of putting it. Rather than activating the shoulder lamps, which they were used to using, your helmets immediately compensate, and you just see this low light vision encompass your entire field of vision, so you can see perfectly in the dark.
Rain and I also have night vision.
Right.
Occasions.
Real quick, too. So, did Ensign Dari go down the engineer?
Yes, I believe
Dari,
so.
yeah, Dari's with us.
So, can I spend 2 momentum to say that Dari brought a beam enhancer for beaming out?
That would be-
Pattern enhancer, yeah.
Yeah,
is that part of it?
a pattern enhancer.
Pattern enhancer.
Yeah, she could have brought a pattern enhancers
Great.
for emergency beam out.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Or do we not need to spend momentum? Is that standard?
No, you don't have to spend momentum.
Oh, okay. So
okay.
I'll just
That's-
establish
Thank you.
that that's there.
We know
That,
that's
you
Okay.
would spend momentum to create advantage if you were like, can we just say we brought in pattern enhancer and just but if you wanted to tell me now at the beginning of this mission,
Yes.
that's fine. So as everybody's getting set up and looking around, she immediately starts setting up the pattern enhancers and going through it, and she's just kind of talking out loud to herself like she normally does as the Andorian moves from place to place.
Ambassador,
Yes.
do you feel anything?
There is a presence on the station. Y'all are definitely not alone, but it's very difficult.
Definitely not alone. There is presence here, but I am not getting any strong emotional feedback from them one way or the other. I just know that something's here.
It's possible they're not conscious yet.
Can I run just a
Tricorder
general,
scan?
Yeah, tricorder scan for life signs.
I would like to
Standard issue.
assist as well.
Sure.
Since I'm scanning for
medical-
life forms.
Standard
Yeah.
procedure
Yeah.
to run a tricorder scan when you enter into an unknown situation. So go ahead and make a roll. The difficulty is 2.
What is rolling?
This is going to be, well, for you, it's reason science.
Yeah.
For you, it's going to be,
Medicine? Because I'm.
yeah, actually, I might say for you, it's going to be reason medicine.
And the
Yes.
tricorder's an advantage.
And the control tricorder's advantage. So difficulty is 1.
Success.
Success? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Add that to your pool.
Skillful?
I think we're maxed out.
Yes, you are actually detecting multiple life signs on the station, but they are fluctuating. It looks like the particles that are probably bombarding the station are wreaking havoc with sensors.
Okay.
Which, when the frustration becomes apparent, your Andorian engineer, she looks up and she goes, "Oh yeah, are you getting that too?"
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really annoying.
Yes.
She just keeps like, tapping away. She's like, "There's nothing we can do to compensate for that. The saturation rate at this close to the particle fountain is going to be it's going to be unstoppable. We're just going to have to deal with it."
All right. Then we're going to have to rely on our peepers. Let's go.
Now, your tricorder scan is going to give you a basic idea of the immediate layout of the station, and it is also going to give you an idea of which direction these life forms are in.
So
Did you get a
the
number
disturbances that I'm getting, does the data output seem similar to those shadows that I was getting earlier?
No.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Peepers it is.
Which direction?
And there's literally a left and a right. And this place, it looks like this place is advanced enough that it does have artificial gravity.
Okay.
It does have a life support system.
Okay.
But the technology levels that you are all observing as you're moving through here, especially some of the bizarre language that you see on what looks like their version of the computer systems, would indicate that this is a language never before recorded by Starfleet.
I have linguistics. Can I get some like sort
Sure.
of root?
Let's try to get a root idea.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your roll. The difficulty of this is going to be 4.
Is this going to be a reason
This would be a reason command check, I believe.
reason command?
Yeah.
All right. It could also be reason science if you needed to make it reason science.
Yeah,
is
either works.
linguistics, so-
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. That was the crappiest roll I've ever rolled. If only I'd rolled that for, any of my
What'd you roll?
games with. I rolled a natural 20 and an 18.
Okay. I'm going to pull that threat.
Why
Do we
can't
need
you
jail?
roll for this on Thursday?
I'm going to pull that.
I mean, they
Racking up thread
they
over here.
also roll bad on Thursdays.
You're looking at this language and you can't even begin to conceive of the alphabet. Like, you're not even sure what you're looking at. At some points, it looks like it's just a series of symbols, and you can't tell if it's actually trying to direct you to where the words actually are on the screen. But a lot of the flickering yellow and gold and purple lights that are coming through on what their version of essentially is an archaic L-cars would indicate that this is a root language that Starfleet has never had contact with before.
Okay.
I had a friend who went mad trying to decode a language that looked a little bit like this.
I have
Well, then
an
maybe
idea.
you shouldn't.
Absolutely.
I have an idea,
Yes,
and it might be
Doctor.
a little unorthodox, but and perhaps Lieutenant Rehan can help me with this as well.
His ears
I'm gonna
perk.
take my helmet off.
Please explain before you do that.
Yes.
You start removing your helmet and Exio.
All right. So one of my talents as a Cation is acute sense of smell and hearing. So maybe as Cations we can maybe smell life people.
You can smell
What?
life.
We can smell.
Roll to smell
anything.
life.
I mean, it's an idea. If we can't decide which way to turn, or if they're close enough, we could.
All right,
Blood?
just be
I don't
ready
know.
to possibly diagnose yourself with particle damage.
The Cation security officer raises his hand and says, excuse me, Commander. I think perhaps it would be best if I did this. It would probably be more important that our chief medical officer be in the best of health in case this turns out to be something of a bad idea.
Please.
Yeah.
That way you can treat me, Doctor, if there's a problem.
I'll just grab everything ready. All right.
He looks at it as you prepare, and he just
You'll be fine. I think.
looks over at Prawl, and Prawl just looks at him like, you volunteered. And the Cation just, there's a clicking sound, and pulls the helmet off and just goes, air is cool, a little bit stale. I'm not sure what I'm smelling, but there is a scent in here.
Which direction?
Difficult to say. It smells... air is somewhat saturated with it. It might be a coolant of some kind. It smells like some kind of chemical, and something else, but I can't pinpoint what it is.
All right, then I pick left.
I was just gonna say, let's just
Please
flip a
put your
coin.
helmet back on.
Yes, Commander. Tricorder's not indicating that he is in any kind of trouble.
He's fine.
His biologics are fine. But
It
you
was
see,
worth a shot.
he gets
Was, we now know
repressurized.
there's a chemical component in the air.
Might be systems damage of some kind.
All right,
Process. I'm going to take point.
please.
Ryan, take the back. The Cation nods, slides back.
While we're walking, I don't want to interact with it, but can I see if there are any sort of like technology assessment? Is there anything that I can plug into? Is it even that advanced?
I would say make a. I would say make a reason science check on this.
Okay.
Calm down, R2D2.
Can
Yeah,
I
exactly.
assist you with this?
Yes.
If she wants to be assisted, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Great, because when your character is
You said reason
superior-
science.
Because
yeah.
when you're a jet,
Also, by the way, reason science.
Thank you.
And as this is happening, you hear Prawl get on the comms and say, "I need one of you to stay by our
Fine.
engineer while she finishes setting up the pattern enhancers." And a few moments later, beaming over, you see Ensign Izumi.
Also, when a character assists a superior, the superior gains a bonus momentum. I succeeded in that, so we 1 moment.
So y'all are maxing out.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
maxed out already.
Yeah, but we can use this on this roll.
That's
the,
right.
the difficulty is only
remember.
1.
Great. What about it?
I didn't get it on those two.
no. You were rolling with which?
Reasons, or science.
Then you didn't hit it anyway.
Yeah, I know.
What'd you get?
I got none.
Then you're
All right, well, sorry, one. I got
one success. Okay, then
Which
your
is
assist
one
does kick in.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Sorry.
2 successes total?
Yep.
Okay, cool. This technology level, since you're actually doing sort of like an attain information on this technology level, everything in your database would indicate that this is probably whoever they are. They're probably new to the stars.
Sure.
You're guessing just post warp technology levels. So
Okay.
probably like Earth
Time
during-
period.
What's that?
Star date.
That's really difficult to tell.
Okay.
But it does look like the station is in decent repair.
Sure.
So it doesn't look like
Except that
it's
its systems are failing.
systems are failing, but it doesn't look like there's no like matter, there's no dust collecting, there's nothing like that. This place doesn't look like it's ancient.
Sure.
It just looks, and the power systems that are active are just low powered, so there's no flickering
Yeah.
lights or anything. Everything's just low down.
So I can or cannot plug in.
You don't get the sense that there's any computer system in the station
enough?
that would be able to handle you.
All right.
Powerful woman.
No.
Much like
The
people,
ring-
they can't handle.
The ring on your hand
Yeah.
is probably more advanced than every single piece of equipment on the station.
Oh my. Okay. Is everyone ready?
To the surprise of no one. Yes, as ready I think as I'll ever be. I really wish I could tell where that is coming from.
Vryn pulls out the tricorder and just flips it open and starts running a scan as he's walking. And all of you begin to move
I'm
down
keeping
the
my
corridor.
eyes up.
Okay, cool.
Tricorders seem to be unreliable at the moment.
Okay. The corridors in this place, moving through them, you are all getting a sense that this is definitely just a post-warp society, because you come across what looks like crew quarters that are open. These crew quarters aren't necessarily rooms that you just walk into. It looks like these are sort of steps down into pod areas where there are small living spaces, where you see beds and shelving units and all sorts of interesting...
Personal items?
Personal items, yes. You see images. Pictures which you presume are family.
Yes.
What do they look like?
Yes.
Whoever
Yes,
they
I would
are,
like to.
they are, they appear to be humanoid.
Okay.
They have sort of a orange yellowish tint to their skin that's somewhat mottled, and they have these beautiful, glossy, almost obsidian-like black platelets that line their faces. So they have a very humanoid face, slightly smaller mouth, but their eyes are actually look vaguely as like the same sort of glossy blackness of the plates across their eyes.
Oh.
So it goes down the center of their head.
No whites? Okay.
Goes down the center of their faces and all the way down to like their mouth area, and then it kind of lines their jaws and their what would be their cheekbones.
Okay.
Other than that, they look pretty like a humanoid race.
Okay.
And in these pictures, you see what looks like families smiling, like
And their environment?
mildly sharpened teeth. Some of them look like a mixture between round to indicate that perhaps evolution from omnivore and carnivore.
Sure.
Much like humans.
Yeah.
But you are getting like what must be pictures of their homeworld,
Yeah.
which is this fascinating snapshots. They're literally like physical pictures, which
That noise.
they're like physical pictures you can hold.
Yeah.
Like picking it up in these frames. You can see some of them are on walls, like old ways of like holding on to the older technologies. But pictures of families. The homeworld looks. It almost looks. It kind of, judging from the landscape, it looks rocky, something like Vulcan. It looks like really mountainous. But it doesn't look like it has probably the same biodome, because looking at the biodome itself, you can see a lot of greenery, or what you take for greenery, because it looks like the plant life on this planet is purple. The skies are also not the shades of blue. It looks like a splash of like purples and yellows and blues and whatnot. You're not sure if that's a warping effect or if that's actually affected the picture
Same hue.
of the,
Particle fountain.
not of the particle fountain, no.
Good.
No.
Thank you.
Nope, not of the particle fountain.
Right.
Particle fountain is almost a vibrant, like electrical white, and mixed with the blues of a nebula kind of surrounding its base.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do these quarters seem recently used?
No, but they don't seem like it was that long ago. In fact, judging from looking around, it looks like these quarters, if you didn't know any better, it looks like these quarters have been torn apart.
Really?
Yeah.
Like they were evacuated very recently.
That would be an investigation check, so I would say
I would-
make
yeah,
an insight
no, yeah.
command. I would say make an insight command roll.
Should have
And the difficulty here is 2.
Okay.
Take a momentum.
I'm gonna spend one momentum.
Can I
use my command focus?
can I
Yeah.
assist using my cultural studies?
Ooh.
Or even do an investigation of my own with cultural
Yes.
studies in mind?
I don't think cultural studies would help you, but you can totally do an investigation and assist here.
I would like to assist
Yeah.
if possible.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Go ahead and make your
You
assist.
sure you want to use that one?
Listen, I'm going to give it another chance. What's my difficulty?
This I'm
Sorry,
gonna
what's my roll here?
for you. I'm gonna say this is gonna be reason, and for you, I think it would be reason science.
Okay.
Kind of critically thinking here.
Yep, we're good.
Cool.
How many? One?
1.
4 successes from me.
Okay.
We are maxed out.
So Exio,
Just barely though.
With some obtain.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some obtain information floating.
as you're looking around, no, this was ransacked.
Okay. Okay.
someone tore these quarters apart.
Does it look like they were looking for something or they were trying to be intimidating?
You're not sure about that. It's hard to say. But judging from the way the place is tossed about,
Yeah.
it looks like they were probably looking for something.
Okay.
So these life signs might be your friends, or it might be the people who tore this place apart.
Yes,
Wonderful.
everyone keep your phasers at the ready.
Prawl pulls his phaser out of the holster.
Have we seen any other signs of possible struggle or noticed
Yeah,
any
there's no bodies.
blood or?
No bodies.
I mean,
It's possible this entire ship was kidnapped.
well, you guys got multiple life signs on senses, and I'm sensing a presence, but nothing distinct.
Maybe someone hid away.
Perhaps.
Well, let's go
Am I
ask them.
getting anything stronger as we get closer?
Or maybe
Not
it's a
really.
species that is not necessarily, you wouldn't necessarily be able to sense.
But on the sensors, when we were scanning the ship, or the station, it was coming up as multiple stations, then one, then multiple, because of the interference. It could be the same with our life form. It could be one life form, could be 10. We really have no way of telling. But either way, I would like to find them soon, depending on how much life.
It's a pretty large ship.
It is a very large ship, but
Maybe
I
we
don't
should
know how
search
much.
quicker.
I don't know much how
Let's
much.
be about our business, huh?
Okay.
That's what I meant. I suppose. Like
Getting as much information as you can from these crew quarters.
Yes.
I will give you this as one piece of information I will give you from such a rad roll, and without giving you for the obtained information.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
sure.
Whoever they are, they would appear to be peaceful. Whoever
These people, yes.
Yeah, whoever the originator
absolutely.
of this whoever was the builders and the staff of this station,
Yes.
they do not register as ever being encountered by Starfleet before, but
No.
apparently they seem peaceful.
Yes, I don't think they are not peaceful. I'm worried that whatever
Somebody
possibly
else,
harmed
right.
them is still on
Sure.
the ship.
I have a very weird role that I want to try doing
Okay.
with my
We do
tricorder.
still have a little bit of
still have
information,
obtained
floating
information.
around
Yeah.
from that investigation now.
Do you want any more questions?
Ooh,
Yes, is there a question?
can I figure out the approximate size of these orange
Based on like the
creatures?
beds
But
or
based on-
chairs?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, bed size.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
It would appear that their average height, judging from
Yeah.
the pictures and the bed and the information that you're able to get just from looking around, also the size of some of the uniforms that are in the room, which, by the way, look very much like sort of like the Enterprise era, so like zip up one uniforms, kind of like maintenance uniform style stuff. It looks like they probably stand at an average height that is comparable to human beings.
Okay.
So they probably vary from about 5 to 6 feet on average.
So would I be able to run another tricorder scan to see what size that life form is?
Which life form?
The other life form that we
Look
have
for a
been sensing.
specific size in the scan.
You can make the attempt.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead and make the attempt. I'm going to put the difficulty of that at 4. It's going to drop down to 3 because
Okay,
here's my
I would
tricorder.
like
yes,
to
can I assist? Or you can assist.
One of you can assist.
Exil. I was just assisting because if it's life form related.
Yeah. Who other?
I was just going to be doing an advisory assist, so if you would like to assist with your physical...
Xenobio?
I have
Xenobio.
xenobiology.
So,
Okay.
yes.
Control medicine, I'm assuming.
I just
Or
advise that
reason-
you should assist in this
This would
manner.
be
Yes.
reason medicine.
I would also like to cautious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I need to reroll. Okay.
You get an extra.
Actually, yeah. Here we go. And oh yeah. Can I use my xenobiology focus for this?
Yes.
Yay! Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
5.
4.
Okay.
5.
So you smash that to hell.
Yeah.
You immediately get a ping in the sensors. The
Okay.
tricorder scan's got a life form.
Okay.
Roughly the same height that you're looking for.
Okay.
Nice.
And it appears to be barely registering as a life form. But you've got a direction.
All right.
Quickly.
Only one.
Please.
Oh, it looks like only one. It looks like it's not doing very well, and it seems to match the approximate size of these the species.
I'm going.
Right,
but-
it's a rescue mission time.
But
Everyone
it still
on it.
does not tell us whether it's friend or foe, but we should go to it immediately and
Captain.
help
Yes.
it.
You look like you want to say something.
No, I was just like, to clarify, What I heard you say is barely a life form, not barely alive.
It's barely registering on
As
the
a
scan.
life
On a scan,
So, like, something that might be a silicon-based kind of, like,
it's a
the
possibility.
boundaries of what a life form is versus whether or not it's about to be...
And I phrased it that way specifically because you were getting pinged that you found the life form, but because of the interference in the station, I'm not giving you as much information.
Okay, great. So we don't need
However-
to directly infer that there's a thingy that's dying. It's just a
However-
possibility.
However, you can make an information spin, obtain information spin to clarify
There's some
that.
floating.
You can
Yeah.
always make the obtain information
Let's
spin.
do the obtain information. spin
Okay,
for that.
it is definitely a living life form.
Okay, great.
A biological, and
Okay.
it matches the profile.
But not for long, so I go now, thank you.
Prawl grabs your arm and says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
doctor,
you don't get to run away from
doctor.
the crew.
We're gonna go where you want to go, but we need to do this together.
I would like to get there quickly in case there's not much time left.
We'll let me take point and let's go."
Yes.
Okay, Prawl starts
going.
moving out. All right. It takes a few moments of walking down these long, dark, shadowed corridors. You do occasionally pass like a flickering light, and you can hear the heavy boots of your enviro suits thudding against the metal of the floor. And as you round the corner, all of you kind of catch your breath because you see it at the exact same time. A row of what looks like stasis pods that all are active, just lining the side of this hallway.
Full?
Looks like they're full. There's 12 of them. They're just lining the sides of this hallway. They're large enough to accommodate the life forms that you were talking about. And you can see sort of this cryo mist kind of drifting lazily above, like they've all been activated and they're being turned on. And your tricorder is pinpointing that this is exactly what you're picking up.
Pinging, Captain.
Okay, you hear the chirping sound.
Report?
We have stasis pods, 12 of them. Unknown species, definitely not recorded in Starfleet. They seem to be alive.
Do you have any idea why they would be in stasis? Are the stasis pods holding stable?
Are the stasis pods stable?
I mean, approaching them, what's interesting, you can actually walk up and you can physically see them inside the pods. They're just these sort of glass domes looking pods. They're just very peacefully laying inside with their eyes closed, and all of their
Is that
lives.
what they're feeling too?
What's that?
Peaceful?
You're not getting any feelings from them, which is typical for a species that might be unconscious, or if they're not going through severe. If they're in stasis, that's not unusual. But you are still getting emotional feelings in the station. Go ahead and make your roll real quick, and make an obtain information check if you want, as per usual. Difficulty of this is 2. It's reduced to 1 because you're using a tricorder.
2 successes.
2 successes.
Bounce on the
Yeah, definitely obtain information.
Tricorder is telling you that they are all alive.
Great.
It looks like they're all in good condition. They've probably been in here for a few months.
Okay.
Commander,
Yes, Ambassador.
And did you have a spend that you were going to do? Or
Yeah,
you
I
don't?
think that I want my obtain information to be. I kind of want to see if there's like is there any sort of like readout or like
There is.
Yeah.
Computer readouts. It's all active, but it's the same language that the ambassador didn't know what the hell they were looking at.
Can I
I mean, I can try again.
yeah.
As you are trying again, your GM is going to spend all that delicious threat you've been throwing at me.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep talking to the captain, and you spend your threat.
Okay. Do your dialogue with the captain.
The ship seems to have been ransacked. They were either looking for something or someone. I know we have the pods in front of us, but I actually need to speak with you two. Captain, stay on. You kept reading someone. This is 12.
This is 12. I don't think this is who we are looking for.
It most certainly is not. I'm getting something from somewhere. These aren't giving me anything, but I'm still feeling something.
Everyone stay aware. I'm looking directly at security.
Security is it. I just spent 3 threat.
Yep.
So this is what happens.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I want everyone to stay aware, and you look directly at Prawl. Prawl in his helmet, you can see his mouth opening and the expression change on his face. And it happens so quick that you are aware of what's happening.
What?
He is in the process of shouting an alarm,
Yeah.
and he's raising his phaser. It all seems to happen in slow motion. He's pulling his phaser up. A few of you and instinctually look in the direction as he's shouting an alarm. The instant in the back, the Cation also pulls up the phaser. And just as a disruptor blast ignites at the end of the hallway, right before we go to break, you see the silhouette of a large, well-armed Gorn.
Dino boys, let's go.
And that is where we're going to go on our break. So stay tuned. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Welcome back, everybody, from our break. We are back on a space station that just became very deadly. We're going to go ahead and jump right back into the game.
Way to assume.
because,
Maybe it's a friend.
Natural born killer.
I have
Well,
an
that
actual
would
Gorn
be
killer.
the reason why I couldn't sense motive. Everybody,
Because I spent threats, it is an ambush. This Gorn is getting initiative, and I'm opening fire.
Yes.
Okay, great.
So we're going to jump right into this.
Great.
Let's freaking do this.
Let me set this up.
So just for everyone at home, and because we're not participating, while this is getting set up, let's go over some of the basics of combat. The
you,
first
Xander.
attacker is going to make a roll, and it's the daring plus security roll, and then it's going to be against the other team, and we're going to take turns in the combat.
Depending on the nature of the attack,
Correct.
daring plus security is going to be a melee roll, while range, which is for instance Pral's specialty, as well as I believe the Cat's, is
Control
for phasers.
Yes.
Control security is a difficulty 2, and an unopposed kind of thing, whereas melee is an opposed check, as we have seen from our doctor.
What?
I know what you're thinking.
I accidentally
Furious.
dropped the med kit. Whoopsie doodle.
That's such a strange word for you to abuse, doctor.
I know. Oh,
Who
where
has
did it come
possessed your
from?
body?
The translator's on the fritz again.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Oh gosh.
No, jeez.
Yeah, we are the OGs.
So this is Eric's going on to the next step of rolling the challenge dice, which are these d6s, and that's going to determine how much damage is done.
They make us sad. Except when Pral's rolling them. It does make us glad.
And this would be the case where any effects would come into play as well.
Right. Disruptors, I believe, have the vicious quality, which, as someone who hit people with my crutches that had a vicious quality back in the day, is bad, sad, bad for people who get hit. On an
other
effect,
side.
it takes an extra damage.
Hold up.
What are you holding?
Also, we should get them.
Whatever you're holding, put it down.
Yeah.
I feel like we're about to get it.
And the ambassador.
I'm
And the
going to
ambassador.
remove. Okay, so I'm going to remove the bonus I gave that Gorn for
Why?
the ambush because Prawl has the trait constantly watching.
Yeah, and,
And he
suspicious
took
by
his
nature.
and he took his thing out earlier. He took out his phaser earlier when I told him to be more cautious.
Yes, but I spent 3 threat for
I
this.
know. I'm just
So-
saying this is why it's happening.
Sure, but I'm going to allow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to allow the Gorn to have initiative, and he's going to get the shot. However, it's not going to make that much of a difference.
Great.
But I wanted to point that out because Prawl does have that, and he does
does.
everything. So,
Constantly watching. My good paranoid kill boy. We have a type.
Not paranoid if you're right.
I've heard
may
that.
I please spend 1 momentum to avoid injury?
Yes.
A green bolt of disruptor energy explodes into existence and slams right into the left shoulder of Prawl, who spins on his heel and lets a phaser shot go just as he's going down.
Which direction?
Let's find out.
Oh no!
Oh boy.
Was that one of the effects that was rolled?
No, he was just. I'm giving him initiative since he had the spot on the Gorn. So on his turn, he's firing back essentially.
Yes, he's taking one for cautious.
Okay, cool. Yes.
Yes.
Take one for cautious, especially
He's on my
because he's at a disadvantage right now to hit this Gorn.
He's taking a minor action to aim as well.
I'm not going to give him a minor action.
He doesn't. You're just gonna kill our NPCs. No,
This
absolutely.
isn't a
No.
complication. I'm not going to let him have a
going,
minor action.
absolutely.
He can get a shot off, but that's it.
Totally.
No worries.
Sorry.
That is 2.
Oh, jeez.
This is. He got a success.
Yes.
I'm going to re-roll the other one because I got cautious. And he got a success. He's going to hit the Gorn.
All right, there we go.
Wow. Nicely done, Prawl.
We have enough
6.
momentum for rerolls on the challenge dice.
Okay, good
So
to know.
what is Prawl firing with? A phaser?
He is currently firing with a phaser.
Yeah,
He
we
does not
only
have a
have a
charge,
phaser.
but it is set to stun. It is
Type two
non-lethal. Ooh, wow. Okay. So I rolled 5 effects. So 5, 6.
Well, because you didn't activate quality with
Right.
a minor action, it isn't going to happen.
So it's going to have 6. So, and this is...
So if nothing else, that's going to be an intro round shot. Except, I don't know how big a deal character is.
So Eric's just rolled 6.
Oh, but he can't spend momentum because he is a minor NPC, so he's going down.
Oh yeah,
So,
Wow.
it all happens in a time span of a split second. You see Prawl get shot with a disruptor pistol from down the hall from a Gorn that goes... This hits him, he spins and manages an incredible shot. As he's spinning on the heel going down, he lets loose an angry red beam of phaser which strikes the Gorn right in the chest and drops him instantly. Yes. The Gorn crumples down to the ground and Prawl lands down onto his stomach with a grunt.
Prawl?
And you can see smoke drifting up from a seared environmental suit.
Crowd, go.
Yeah.
The
Stand
other
back,
side,
Ambassador.
the other side of the suit apparently is displaying signs of where the disruptor bolt exited, even though you didn't see it happen. So you see a burn mark on one side of the shoulder and a burn mark on the other.
Immediately.
And Brawl's,
shoulder.
you hear Prawl and his enviro suit just go, fuck.
I'm also
Rahane,
right there.
on the ambassador, now. And I run to the Gorn.
Immediately dashes up.
I'm following you.
The two of you are dashing towards the Gorn.
Yes. Phaser's out.
Your science officer goes, Captain, I'm detecting weapons fire on the station.
All right, Messier.
Captain was on.
right now.
Captain,
Oh.
I left Captain on
Yeah, so I've
conference
heard that.
call.
So this is all
So-
happening at once then. And then you are now hearing the ends of that exchange.
I'm pulling pain.
Okay. So let's do this. You're dashing down the hall. You're on
Yeah.
the comms with the captain.
Giving play-by-play to Captain.
You're crouching down next to Prawl.
Yeah, and the Gorn is down, right?
Yeah, the Gorn's
Yeah.
down.
Okay.
We're running to
The
the
Gorn
Gorn
is
right
a
now.
minor NPC, so they cannot spin to avoid injury, and so he took an injury,
Then,
He
yeah,
is
then I'll
stunned.
go to Prawl.
even though he has a thick hide.
I'll disarm him.
Yeah, he's stunned. That's a stunned Gorn. He's stunned.
Right.
Okay, so why don't we? I'm going to give you guys the initiative since the Gorn has been removed from combat. Who wants to go?
I'm with Prawl.
So, but who wants to take an action right now?
We are running to Gorn. I'm ordering Lacat to disarm.
Okay, so y'all are dashing, and I'm going to say your move actions is getting up to the Gorn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So you get to the end of the hallway, which, by the way, at that junction, it branches to the right. So the moment you reach the Gorn's body, you can actually see down the hallway, and the first thing you see are 2 more Gorn.
Back up.
You kind of dash over to there. It looks like they have weapons drawn and are just as surprised to see you because they just watched their comrade get shot. But disruptor bolts immediately explode just as y'all back up because it was your action. So narratively, as y'all step back, you all see these disruptor bolts smash into the side of the station's wall.
How far?
Right where Exio and Lacat were standing. They're about 7 meters away.
I was actually asking about the fallen disruptor.
Oh, that's That's still in the Gorn's hand.
No.
Disruptor, by the way, does not have a stun setting.
Right.
They are built to kill.
I know, but this is okay. Yeah, no.
Your Cardassian blood calls to you.
You are
Lacat.
not doing that.
No, okay, I'm not doing that.
the weapon.
Well,
He cannot keep it.
Yes, I'm trying to get it away from something that is just stunned.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
but
and then
also-
later, all I'm doing.
I would like to use my cat-like reflexes during the first round of combat. If I have not acted, which I have not yet, I can take a minor action by spending 1 momentum. So I am going to very quickly play with myself. Wait,
And
no.
Prawl dies
Wait.
as you just swipe at the air.
No. Because you're with Prawl and I'm right there, I'm going
You're
to
with Prawl?
quickly. Or they were with Prawl.
Sure, what are you
and
doing?
I'm gonna quickly put together like a pain slash
Like a hypo spray?
A hypo spray. Give it to the ambassador and because I hear phaser fires and heads toward Exio and Lacat to help.
Okay.
Because
So she hands you one of the hypo sprays and hands it to you.
basically you're now taking care of him. He'll be fine. Just to help. Yeah. And
Okay.
go bolt towards them to help.
You watch as the doctor leaves you with this injury. You're holding the hypo spray. What are you going to do?
So I already have a hold of Prawl's hand. I'm already pulling pain.
Okay. Do you experience the pain that you pull?
I can receive emotions, so yes.
Okay. In that case, you're just receiving, kind of subduing the shocked system. you're not actually receiving the pain into your body, but you are feeding off of Pral's emotions, and Pral is fucking furious. His anger is keeping the pain at bay. So as you're pulling it loose, you're just feeling this wave of rage. It's
I get it. And then I hyperspray him.
So we'll get to that in a second, because this is all, I've given you guys 2 actions now, so it's going to be their action at this point. So we're going to get back into the flow of combat, because technically you're not allowed to do your turn again unless you keep initiative. In this turn, so we're going to give you guys that, so you're dashing towards these 2.
I did a minor action with the hypospray. My major action is to get to them.
And I'll let you, by the end of your action, you arrive
I'm
next
fast.
to the cat and Exio.
Yes.
So on their action, they immediately, from what you can see just from around the corner, they pull back around the corner and take cover.
Great. Are there doors in this hallway?
There seems to be a door about 30 meters down at the end of this hallway, behind them.
Okay.
So they're coming out of, like, there's a hallway that they've come around and spotted you, and they've dashed around that corner again, and that's about 15 meters down.
Okay.
So I said 7, but it's 15 meters away from where you guys were.
Quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
What happens if I get shot?
If you get shot,
Yes.
depending on how bad it is, because you
me.
actually can't take
Yeah.
injury, but the injury effect will still come into play. So
Yes.
if you get shot and you are taken down, then your program will simply go offline, and you will lose all information that you had here, and will require a full boot up back in the ship, which is essentially the
If
equivalent.
it hits just any part.
If you are killed in action, as it were,
Yeah.
you would essentially.
I know about the reboot stuff. I just
Right.
mean what physically happens to my hard light body.
Oh, your hologram would start flickering in and out
Cool.
of existence. And the matrix that holds your light systems would start to break down. And
We've got
simulate,
reason engineering for you as the counterpart to reason and medicine.
Yeah.
it would essentially look like a shatter point in your hologram matrix. So your arm might be missing, even though you can still move
But I
it.
wouldn't fully shut off.
No.
One zap wouldn't.
It would really depend on how much damage you took and what kind of injuries you sustained. For example, if you took injury and you didn't have momentum to spend to avoid it, you're down.
Okay.
Your program would flicker offline.
Okay.
But there's no need for you to know that. That would never come into play. So
No, never. Not while I'm being shot at by a couple of Gorn.
It's totally fine.
So that's what. So that was their action. Who wants to go next?
Okay.
So you guys actually went. So the 2 of you have moved. So it's literally down. Oh, actually, everybody on the ground has
isn't this
moved.
top of the ground?
So then what we can not yet, because we still have 3 more players. So you get to go next.
Okay.
If you want to give a hypo spray to stabilize
Sure.
him.
I think as I'm pulling the anger and I'm kind of getting overwhelmed by it, I just go, I need you to calm down. Please calm down. Calm down.
He's not
and then
calming down.
I know,
We don't
but
know.
I'm saying it anyway.
Sure.
Mantra.
And then I give him the hypo spray.
Okay, so this is going to be a reason medicine check.
Sure.
But you're going to get a reduced difficulty because
That's
it's a
good,
prepared
'cause,
hypo spray.
This is a crap roll for me.
So
My bad.
It's fine.
You just press the button.
It's a difficulty 1, you said?
no. Actually, it's only 1 injury. So 1 sec. With 1 injury, it's not as bad. It's not quite as bad.
The concoction will be fine.
Another character may provide first aid, performing a first aid task as a simple injury. Okay, so this is a daring plus medicine task with a difficulty of 1.
Even worse. Daring plus medicine, you say?
Healing an injury. Oh wait, no, this is healing an injury.
Can I assist
That
and
was
go,
the
just
Shuttle
press
thing.
the button?
Hold on, everybody. Hold on, please. So healing an injury this is not first aid, this is healing an injury. So healing an injury is a different matter. It cannot be done during combat. An injured character requires treatment to remove the injury. This requires control plus medicine with a difficulty of 2.
And you shrugged it off, right?
Yes. So what you can do, give him this hypo spray and he'll get a free recovery,
Okay.
which will allow him to get back into combat.
Okay.
But he's going to have an injury on him still.
That's fine. So
Okay.
do I need to roll anything at all?
It's a difficulty 1, so go ahead.
And
because this is
what am
literally
I rolling
determined.
here?
This is a daring medicine check.
God, this is a sucky roll for me. All right, here we go. But I got a success.
So you go.
There you go.
I got 1 success.
You feel the hypo spray and he goes.
All right, go get him, Tyga.
He gets back up and he pulls that phaser out, and that's his action. Back on board the bridge of the USS Ross. You hear, just as all of this action is taking place and you're hearing the fire, you get the notification that there's weapons fire in the station. You hear one of the Ox crew, one of the ensigns taking over the helm, just goes, "Captain, There's a vessel emerging from the other side of the station. And it pops up on visual.
Great. Name?
It is... Oops, where'd it go?
Also, just to place me, I'm on the engineering console on the bridge.
Okay, cool. So then you're seeing this too, as it pops around. What did I do with the damn thing? It's a Gorn Raider Vishap class. VISHAP. And immediately the computer identifies it as a small raider. It is a scale 3 ship. As the captain grins.
You know exactly what I mean.
It's a scale 3 ship. It is a small vessel. The database will tell you just right off the bat, which I think we should do a quick scan. So let's use, let's set the skill level at 4.
Yeah, we have Ensign Lucien Messier
Okay, cool.
on science,
Then
based on
10.
who took over last time.
Awesome, cool. Go ahead and make that roll. And assist for...
Yes, Sister from Ross. We have that probe up.
Yeah.
That probe still exists.
That probe is all the way over into the vicinity of the particle. It's not that is a one-way trip.
Yeah, I'm just hoping to use the fact that we have our ship, the probe, and the runabout to triangulate a little more effectively. Just like a little bit of an advantage.
If you want to spin for that advantage, I'll allow it.
No. Okay. Yes, from Ross.
Okay. What you get from this? So how many successes total?
No, that's from Ross.
Oh, that's from Ross.
Messier.
Oh, so I'm rolling for. Okay, so one run.
Okay, so that's 2 total.
2 total. That's enough.
Good too.
Difficulty was was it difficulty 2? I think it was 1.
Oh, then we
It was a difficulty 1 roll.
great.
Let me gain one.
More momentum.
So,
we're gonna need.
Vishap is actually a frigate. It's a destroyer, typically used in the Gorn hegemony. However, your sensor scans would indicate, especially from looking at the visuals, this is not a military vessel or a member of the Gorn hegemony. They have a symbol proudly displaying on the side of their ship that would indicate that they are not representatives of their government.
Are they pirates?
They're probably pirates.
Oh, more! So many pirates.
What does Azari Sol do when they spot this?
What trajectory are they on?
They're currently emerging from the other side of the station, and their weapons are hot. Let me give you the rest of the information.
Basically, I'm trying to figure out if they're coming at me like someone who is very
They're literally-
unwise, or if they are running away.
So they are going into an attack pattern. It looks like they are emerging from the side of the station, and their weapons are on. Their shields are up. They are. So this is what you've got. This is the information the computer pulls up, because this is not an unusual ship that the Starfleet doesn't know.
Sure.
Scale 3, resistance 5. They are hardy ships. They do have disruptor banks and photon torpedoes and a weak-ass tractor beam. But they do have an improved impulse drive, and a duranium armor plating makes the resistance on these things really rough.
Right, that's where they got the 5 from.
The resistance 5 makes their hulls really freaking tough. But whether or not this is actually up to par is a matter of conjecture. But as it's moving, it's going to... Currently it is at extreme distance, because it's on the far side of the station at some distance, and it looks like it was using. What would you like to do?
We're gonna close.
Do you want to call for red alert?
Yes.
Oh, press the button! Woo! It's a fanny.
So the ship goes to red alert immediately. Shield, energized defense fields come online. Weapons
Yes.
come online.
As Helm get into striking range with that vessel, Vasquez, keep weapons hot.
Hi, Captain. So spend 1 power. I'm going to give you guys the initiative on this. So spending 1 power is going to move you guys closer into range, but the Ross has a whopping 15 power. Isn't that
13
Well,
now.
we're at
13 now
13
because you
now.
lost, which is just enormous amounts of power in a starship.
Just enough.
Enormous amounts of power in a starship. So you begin to move into range. You get the impression as Ross moves within 1 more striking, so now you're at long range.
Yes.
You get the impression, just from watching the visual screen and Azari knowing what you know about pirates and how they think and how they maneuver, you start putting together a story immediately based off of what you see the pirate ship doing as you all close in. Because it would appear they've changed their mind. As the Ross begins to emerge around the other side, you see them making a sudden course correction, pointing away from you guys. They're not getting an action to move this turn because they've got their action taken already. But you already know what's up. They probably didn't understand, the same way you didn't, necessarily, what ship was waiting for them on the other side of that station. They came around the corner and saw an Explorer Cruiser-class starship vessel, and they're turning tail.
Permission to give power to tractor beams, Captain.
Attaboy.
You can activate tractor beam long range?
No, it's a close range weapon.
Okay, cool.
We're going to be siphoning down their power from long range as soon as Messier gets attempts to scan for their weaknesses, which technically was something that the probe will also help with. But that ship, that probe has launched.
Yes.
All of that said, my concern is that as they're making their little about face to tuck their tail between their legs, that they aren't trying to swing by the station.
To try to get their friends?
To try to get their friends, or to try to get the San Antonio.
Yeah.
Because
So
that's
keeping
a
them in
much
place.
weaker, softer target.
So I can give you some more
And
tactical
we
information
need
based off what you see.
to tank for them.
So here's the station, right? And here's, you guys are the Ross. You're here in the front of the
Yes.
station. And this ship, and also the San Antonio is on this side of the station as well. The ship is emerging from the far side from hundreds of kilometers away on the far side of the station. They've literally banked around. And they were closing to an attack vector when they saw you, and now they're kind of doing this. So they're actually moving away from the San Antonio, from you, from the station.
Perfect.
They're actually pointing closer into the direction of the particle fountain. Whether they know they're doing something stupid or not is up for debate.
I mean, at this point, the high-risk maneuver is worth it to them to try to get away, especially because they have good heat on their impulse engines. The best we can do is outfly them.
Or catch them.
Well,
All
and
right.
shoot their engines out from under them, yes.
Chief Tech's excited.
I want to catch them.
Get him! Get him! Get him!
Alright, this is all what you were playing this afternoon, right?
Okay.
So yes, it's Messier scanning for weaknesses next.
Okay, cool. Let me roll. What's the number I'm trying to hit with this?
Let's see, a scan for weakness check. Do you have that there? Yes.
That should be on the science thing.
Yeah.
So 13.
Weaknesses.
That's one success, so hopefully that's enough.
But there's also,
And Ross.
we should be good from Ross, actually, once we check. Navigator, helm, sensor sweep. Scan for weakness, controlled science task, oh, wait, is it one of the ones that's different in the book? Anyway, it's difficulty 1 from here.
That's fine.
Difficulty ranges for each increment beyond close, so actually it's total of difficulty 3.
So one success and one from Ross, so if that could be enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No.
science officer just says, there's too much interference, Captain.
Alright.
She's turning to starboard, and you see that they're not, again, this is narrative, they're not actually taking the movement, but you see that they are dedicated to that starboard turn to get the hell away from you guys.
Helm? Close.
Laying in a
Catch
course. What are you doing? This is your
Firing
action.
my tractor beam.
It's a close range. You
No,
can't.
I can't.
yeah, we're gonna goose it up.
Gotcha.
Whatever you got in terms of engineering shenanigans.
Yeah,
So,
I can, because right now we've got our power diverted to shields. I can divert some of that power to our speed to try to catch up to the engines instead.
I know there's an official rule for this, but just for funsies, if you want, I'll allow the Ross to burn. I'll say we push the engines.
Yeah.
So if you want to sink 2 power,
Sure.
I will allow the Ross to move 1 more
Yeah.
on this
Ranging.
round.
She's got it.
So you
We're at
guys
11 for
basically
power.
jump to full impulse for a burst of speed.
Ow!
I'm going to have the helms roll. I'm going to give them 12. I'll give them supporting crew, so I'm going to give them 13. I'll just make that as a standard.
Alright,
13.
engines con from Ross.
That's 1 success, yeah.
And that's another success from Ross.
So then gain 1 momentum, and you guys are closing in this. By the start of the next turn, you're going to be in medium range.
Alright. Vasquez, get ready to take the shot.
All right, back on the station.
Great.
Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be their action.
Great.
You can hear through the universal translator.
Give us our friend, we'll let you go.
Echoing down the hallway.
No.
The
Hear me?
doctor says back.
I just made it up to y'all.
Are is it, can we speak back or are we starting
Yeah,
combat?
yeah, y'all. No, technically combat's frozen for the moment.
Ah.
Your friend shot first. Throw your weapons down the hall and surrender.
You hear muttering on the other side. If you want to make a roll, you can try.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, make a presence command roll.
Yeah.
The difficulty on this is going to be 4.
Can I assist?
I cannot assist.
Sorry, what did you say?
Difficulty in this is presence and command, and the
Presence and command.
difficulty is 4.
Don't
This is technically a social
tired.
combat
No,
check,
have to
but
go
yeah.
over there.
Don't be next to the
Um,
Really not great. I'm going to use my command focus.
Use a momentum right now.
Yes, I am.
I was given it to
Because we have open comms tonight.
Yeah.
I have collaboration.
Oh.
Get my intimidation focus and
Okay.
yeah.
I'm tapping, I'm system tapping Commander's intimidation focus.
Okay.
Wait a second.
Well, hi!
Oh,
Yes, I'm
jeez.
related to you.
We're on the same wavelength.
Okay.
Get out of my brain! Okay.
Hey.
Hey!
Feels good to have a focus.
Yes, it do!
Because I think that got you there.
I think it do.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
4!
4.
I help. You help so good. Thanks, Captain.
These are minor NPCs.
Yes.
So as you shout that back, you hear this sort of rumbling from multiple Gorn voices. And a few moments pass. And then unmistakably, you hear the heavy fading sounds of
Right.
heavy footsteps.
Okay.
And you, at first, the suspicion of what has happened is immediately verified by the Gorn that's laying on the ground, who also hears this, and who is still stunned, but he overhears the commotion and just goes, "Oh!" It's like this snarl of irritation as his comrades fucking run away.
Oh, they bolt.
They bolt.
Oh, yeah, like the tepid cowards they are before your
They
might.
they had an exchange, decided he
Right.
wasn't worth it. They bolt. So
I
where they're
guess
bolting to is
I-
hard to say. The station is not big, but they are bolting in the opposite direction that they came.
Okay. McCrell, confiscate the weapon, and
Am I
you
running?
and I
I'm running.
are going.
Let's go.
And I'm staying on captain.
Yes.
We've got 2 runners. I imagine you've already caught their getaway ship.
We're in progress. They're probably going to try to hole up, and hope that their ship comes for them. They'll have bad news.
I want to use the tractor beam. You hear him
In
in
a
the
moment,
background.
once we get into range, Chief.
Okay.
Hold your tractors.
I'm
what you
hoping
find.
Prawl is at this point running after the commander and the captain.
Well, everyone is assembled at the edge of the hallway now.
Yeah.
so no one's running after anybody unless you're giving chase.
No, we're giving
We
chase.
were going to give chase.
Oh, you're
We're
gonna give
giving
chase?
At
Okay.
least for a moment.
Paul is stumbling as quickly as he can past you. He stops at the edge and he looks over at the other security officer and just says, "Rain, go, go, go." And Rain dashes, these long Cation legs dashing after the two of you, catches up in just moments. You can hear the soft padded, like heavy boots mixing in right behind all of you, just as Rain.
I'm just gonna stay back here.
Yeah, when he catches up, I'm quite mad because I gave him specific instructions to protect the ambassador.
Who?
Rain.
Rain?
Yeah.
It's fine.
What do you mean?
I put Lieutenant Rain on specific keep the ambassador safe duty.
Okay.
A direct
Prawl-
order.
Yeah, then
Paul just told him to go after.
He did.
Later.
Yep.
I'm sticking with the
Tell me
What's
about
that?
Commander Exio just told me to stay
And confiscate the weapon.
and confiscate the weapon, so I'm staying with the other Gorn
Okay,
because
cool.
I'm following orders, even though I want to run.
Okay.
Don't run. There are 2 injured people where you are.
And I'm way down at the other side of
They're
the hall,
fine.
just staying where I was told
Yep.
to stay.
All
They're
right.
too
it.
squishy.
Somebody listens.
That's my job.
I'm listening.
I guess while we're running, we are not giving chase for very long. If they are not around this immediate corner, we stay with our crew. Do you understand me?
I understand that,
Direct
but I would like
eyes at Rain.
Yes, Commander.
as we run, can I just like do like a brief just like check like observational scan for like any, Gorn that might pop out of the hallways?
Not right now, because your action is literally chasing after them, so your
Dang.
movement at the end of this round is going to keep you in range.
That was like a minor.
But next round, you'll be able to do it. The minor action kind of came at it. Actually, you could do it.
Yeah.
You'd be able to do it because it was mostly Commander Exio who's taking the action here. Everybody was taking movement actions, but if you want to do a minor action to take a quick
glance
look
around,
at what you're up against,
absolutely.
go ahead. You won't have to make a roll. I'm just going to tell you unless.
I'm trying to use suspicious by nature.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Make your roll. Difficulty 1.
Great. 2. Wait, what am I rolling here?
It's difficulty 1. So you're going to do. This is going to be Insight Security.
Inside security. Great. 2 successes.
Okay.
We gain a momentum.
You're entering what looks like the engineering compartments of the station.
Okay. Great.
So what's very likely waiting ahead for you is a single large room. So you're looking at either passing through a couple of doors, but you're not sure what the layout of the station is. But it's possible you might be running into cornering them.
Okay.
Which could be dangerous for everybody involved.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if we keep going, we corner them, but we also corner them.
Yes.
What are your orders?
My orders are we guard this door so they do not come back out.
All right.
And we get those pods off the ship and rendezvous with the captain immediately.
Understood.
So, Dari, are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
We are not going in that room.
What is going on? I'm hearing phaser fire, I'm hearing...
We have 12 pods. Contact Commander Prawl. He will have a lock-on for the pods for you. Everyone needs to get off the ship immediately.
Understood, Commander. Okay. So y'all you're staying where you are. Prawl's taking a security action to secure this area. Back on the ship. Let's go ahead and go back on the ship. They're using their movement action. They're going to spend 1 power. They are... I think I'm going to have them roll for this. Yeah. I'm going to have them roll to do this. They are going to attempt to go to warp.
Of course. That is absolutely what makes sense for them to do.
Get the F out of Dodge.
It is a high-risk situation for them, and they know that nothing good happens if they heave to.
Here we go.
Good luck to them.
I'm going to set the difficulty at 3 for this because they are within range of the particle fountain. There's all sorts of reasons. They're burning. I'm going to burn.
I'm pretty sure that's
burn
nice.
the power here.
What it could be.
So here we go. Nope. You hear like the Millennium Falcon engine noise.
I thought you fixed it. It's not my fault.
But you just hear that.
Yeah, right now there's a Gorn helmsman that's wondering.
So fired.
So you detect a power spike in their warp core as they're attempting to establish a warp field bubble, but the particles that are blasting out of this immeasurably huge and dangerous particle fountain is actually breaking down the ability to establish a warp field bubble around the ship. So you watch the acceleration, but literally nothing is happening, and their entire action is being burned on zilch.
You know what could have told them that? A probe.
It is now your action.
Vasquez? Phasers.
You want to shoot? Going after I'm guessing you're going to go after the power? What are you doing?
Yes, if we make the hit.
Okay.
But first, one has to successfully shoot. Alas, we don't have Prawl.
So we're in medium range.
Yes.
So
this should be a difficulty 2 shot.
Right. All right, let's see if we go. Lasers fire. That's 1 success.
Null from Ross.
The interference from these particle, like as you guys are closing in and going around the side of the station, the interference from this particle fountain is actually starting to wreak havoc with targeting sensors.
Oh boy.
And you hear the irritation in the crewman's voice just going, "Sorry, Captain."
Hey, it's all right. Once more with feeling. I'm doing a direct task.
Yes. Nice.
Yes.
Here we go.
I believe they are assisted by my presence command in this.
Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and make that roll. They got 1 success. That's 2
Crit.
successes. Crit.
And Ross. No.
So 3 successes. So bank 2 momentum. That's a strike. 1 momentum?
1 momentum for strike. Good.
All right,
So
cool.
we are all the way up. We are spending... roll the challenge dice, please. That's 8 challenge dice.
2, 4, 6, 8.
And then I have the goodies list up.
All right. Jesus Christ.
Poor Lauren.
Oh no.
So
many
2,
health?
4, 6, 7, 8, 9 with 2 effects.
Good. I want to use...
We blow them up.
Good God.
I'm using both of those effects for penetration, so 4 of their resistance is ignored.
So 1 resistance.
Yes, they get 1 resistance.
So they took
8 damage.
8 damage total.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's a breach.
Yes.
Okay, so their shields are going to drop dramatically here.
Actually... How many of these do I want to spend? So that was 2 there. Yeah, that'll be enough for now.
Okay, that's going to be 1 breach. Let's roll to see what you breached. As the Ross blasts through.
Leave you guys in.
Thanks.
Nicely
Where
done.
their
Good
power is
shot.
right now.
Good captain, too.
Yes.
It's almost as
Good
though
captain.
we picked a captain who knows what the hell they're doing.
It's like pirates
Almost.
messed with a captain who hates pirates.
Yeah.
Pilots?
That is definitely what I said. No.
All right, Gilbert and
Tell
Sullivan,
him
Yeah,
calm
no, I
down.
know.
Wash himself.
Okay. One
It's just
moment.
funny because in Japanese, pilots and pirates sound the same thing.
Yeah.
All right.
They do.
Gilbert and Sullivan.
Yeah.
Unless you go Kaizoku.
So that's nice.
I love that we're getting Japanese lessons, so I'm looking this up.
Well,
I mean, hey.
It's because the L and the R sound are the same in Japanese, so it's pirates and pirates are just the same.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Sam, do you happen to remember which page the
Oh, and we get 2 momentum back for those phasers because they're
Oh, right,
versatile.
because they're versatile.
Which actually makes it a great time to do a devastating attack.
that's right, yeah.
So I will do
Do
that.
it. Do it.
just
Roll
gonna
an
do it.
additional system. That system suffers an additional hit, dealing half the primary attack's damage rounding up.
Okay, so here we go.
Damage.
So you're gonna hit
And the resistance still, because the penetration still.
15, so this is gonna strike their structure.
Ta-da.
They weren't using that hull
That
for
was the
anything.
sound of the structure.
Their structure is got 1 breach. Jeez. That's no good. Okay.
Oh, their shields are down.
That was some very
no,
good Foley
their shields
work.
are at
Thank you
6.
very much.
Okay.
Yep. Ooh.
Did you hear me, Bob?
And their communications. Because you used that. So both of those take 1.
Yep. And a total of 12 damage, I think.
Total of 12 damage. So the resistance is going to soak 1 of that.
Oh, no, wait. Sorry. 13 damage because it was 9 and then half rounding up. So it's 5 into the comms.
So, wait, okay, so they have shields of 13 and a resistance of 5. You knocked down the resistance to 1.
The half damage is calculated, I believe, before you soak the resistance.
I see, okay.
So half and then resistance.
So total
'Cause it counts
damage
again.
so
So
total
actually it
damage-
is 4. I apologize.
Okay, so then total damage against their shields is what?
Is 12.
12. So they're down to 1 shield.
Yes, I got it.
And they got
Resistance
a
is
breach.
calculated each time.
Okay. 2 direct hits as the Ross opens fire, striking this ship. The devastation to their shields is absolute. Their shields have dropped down to 10%. And you can see this glittering trail of ionization and damage sort of like wafting off the back of their ship vessel, like gold glitter in space. You know it's exhaust from a damaged structure. It's literally superheated particles of their hull being powderized in space from the strike from the phasers. It's your turn.
Captain, permission to beam survivors into the brig.
We'd have to do that from close range now.
We're at.
You're actually at close range with the station right now, because in order to close the distance, the station is literally adjacent to y'all right now.
Oh, I was talking about the ship too. Like anybody surviving that's on the ship that's about to be done.
Which ship that's about to be done?
That we shot on.
They're still fine.
Oh, they're okay.
Yeah.
Their ship is just heavily damaged.
Right.
But they're not about to explode or anything.
Oh, okay.
They just dropped down to 1 shield and they took a breach.
And then on the planet.
On the station,
Or on the station, rather.
everything is fine on the station except for the weapons fire that you're hearing.
Right. I was misunderstanding the severity of the damage.
Oh,
thinking
yeah,
that
no,
this
they're
was-
not
they
in the
were
middle of a
about
warp or
to
breach or
blow up.
anything.
Okay.
No, they'd need a couple more breaches in.
Gotcha.
Leave 2 more breaches, and then that is exactly what's going to happen. So, for instance,
They're
they get
impacted.
one more hit on them.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting that you impacted their communications, so they're going
Right.
to need a minor action if you're going to hail them. They're not going to be able to talk to you right now.
So here's what I'm going to
No,
do.
there was a chance.
This is what I'm going to do for my action then, because repairing that and opening hailing frequencies is a control engineering task. So from my console, I'm going to start working on repairing that through the interference and their damaged console.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, because you impacted their structure, they actually have 1 fewer action this round.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And by the way, since I only have 2 active players on the bridge, I'm doing this kind of piecemeal as opposed to using full-scale actions.
Yes.
Since we're doing sky and ground combat right
Thank
now.
you.
No problem. So, go ahead and make your roll.
Okay, so this is a control engineering roll. What do you want to set the difficulty at?
What are you trying to do?
Establish
specifically?
hailing frequencies.
Okay.
And their communications is out, but I can fix that with a control engineering task at the communications deck.
You calm so hard, you bust through their problems.
Potentially. And there's also the interference.
If you spin for advantage, I'll let you do that.
Yeah.
Because technically you can't repair their ship from just
right.
screaming at
It's
them
more
on it.
like finding a different way to communicate them.
Sure,
But yes.
yeah. But what I could do is, if you're willing to spin for advantage, what I'll do is I'll say that they can hear you, but they can't respond.
Great. I just want to establish the link.
Sure. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Go ahead and make your roll. The difficulty is 1.
I'll talk
So I'll spend
Am I
one.
also rolling anything?
Cautious.
You can roll for Ross if you wanted to.
All right, what's my roll?
Probably 11. Communications engineering, so 12.
And you said, so what was the difficulty?
The difficulty is 1.
Just one.
Nothing from Ross.
We're gonna burn that.
Oh!
So this one,
No.
I actually have born near a warp core, so I get to
get to reroll.
reroll this.
Okay.
Yay! So that's just 1 success.
You're on, Captain.
If you want to be. We have established a frequency.
They can hear you.
If you want to. I haven't opened the channel yet.
I strongly recommend heaving 2. This will be your only warning.
And the channel's open now, Captain. Go ahead.
We're assuming that was yeah. Go ahead and just for funsies, I would love to see Captain Saul make a command presence roll here.
Yay.
And this is absolutely an intimidation check.
Yes.
What's the difficulty?
This is actually an opposed roll against their captain. So the difficulty starts at 1, but it's an opposed check. So go ahead and make your roll, and I'll compare it to what I'm about to roll.
Unfortunately, a well-placed word goes a long way.
You're gonna burn that determination.
Nice.
All right.
Oh, I should prep for cautious psychologists.
Cool. Okay, so. Oh, oops. Wait, that's him? Oh, that is him. That's hilarious. Okay. What'd you get?
5.
You wait patiently as you're looking at the view screen.
Vasquez, get ready. In case he decides to make bad decisions.
Their engines are going offline, Captain.
Smart.
They're lowering their shields and disarming their weapons.
Good. You will be beamed into our brig and not harmed. Chief.
You gotta figure that as a pirate, the best person you could possibly be captured by is Starfleet.
Oh yes.
If you're gonna get caught by somebody,
Chief,
thank us later.
to Chief Singh.
Yes, Chief.
We got a lot of beaming to do, so get ready.
Give me just a moment. There's a lot of interference out there, but I will see to it. Meanwhile, in the station,
Yes.
you guys have reached the door.
Yeah.
Your tricorder scan is telling you that there is only one way in and out of the engine room. The engine room is quite small. There are 3 Gorn in there. They are all heavily armed with disruptors.
Oh, like they only carry 1 gun. Okay.
And as y'all are just sitting there, you can hear on the other side coming through a comm this growling, crackling noise of what sounds like a damaged comm unit. Like there's lots of static, just and you can hear Gorn essentially saying, "Say again," and you hear again something coming through. And as the two of you, you see Cation security officer, he gets his charge ready as his minor action. And he's waiting on your word.
Is the captain still in contact? Has that encounter been on open comms to me?
No.
Okay.
You can call in for a status report because
we'd
be good for that.
That would make me call in for a status report.
Okay.
So.
You're not in combat right now,
Also-
so you can do this.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't worry about your action economy right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was like,
Don't sweat it. When the door opens and bolts start flying, then you have to worry about it. But right now, we're literally paused in combat. so-
Okay. Wait, they seem confused. Captain, status update.
We've secured the pirate vessel. What's going on the station?
We have 3 cowards trying to make their escape.
Where are they making their stand?
They're currently holed up in the engine room. We have the only door blocked.
That is a potentially explosive situation. Mind
Yes.
the engine room. Can you get all of the stasis pods and get yourselves out?
That is the goal. I was going to give them one more opportunity to surrender with the rest of their crew, Captain.
Get everybody out and then we'll give them the opportunity. My first priority is all of you. Secure yourselves. We'll take care of them.
Agreed.
Okay. So, the priority is beaming out the stasis pods first, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That room, then us.
Yes.
Sing is I'm gonna have to roll for Sing, but and let's spend momentum on this because this is gonna be very difficult considering the
We're full
proximity
up.
of the.
I talk real good.
Yeah,
That's
we're
okay.
talking.
Yes, exactly.
So how much momentum would you like? 1 for an extra die?
Yes, please.
Got it.
Because I'm gonna set the difficulty. I'm gonna make this. It's essentially gonna be an extended task. So there's gonna be multiple rolls here, but yeah, there we go. Okay.
And
So-
does the pattern enhancer count as an advantage?
No, because the pattern enhancers
Just a
are literally
single.
back. Yeah, it's back at the beginning of the waypoint for
Yeah.
the away mission.
But maybe
However,
coordinating
if
through
you
the interference.
well, I was going to say, however, what we could do is if two more pattern enhancers can be beamed over from the Ross, then those can be set up to actually beam out the pods individually.
Are we able to beam to the station?
It's going to be taking. So if you want to beam the pods out, which is probably preferable because beaming somebody out of cryostasis is dangerous.
Yeah.
If you want to beam the pods out, that's going to take engineering checks to basically uncouple them from their systems and then beam outs. So you're talking about a long operation. So really, the priority right now is to secure these Gorn and make sure they're not a threat anymore. Then it's just a narrative process of beaming out everybody that you need to beam out.
Well, in that case, everybody, do literally the opposite of what I ordered.
That's kind of the situation, because you've completely secured the Gorn situation at this point. It's the variable of who's behind these doors is the only.
Which is why we're staying put as just security blockades in case they decide to come back out or start causing havoc. Which is why the priority is the pod room with the ambassador, Prawl, and McCrell, and the secured Gorn already.
Yeah, the Gorn's already
And
there.
we are then second priority once all of the threats are eliminated.
Okay,
Yeah.
so as a GM, I'm going to because of the nature of the situation.
Yeah.
Because the getaway ship has been basically incapacitated.
Yeah.
Because you have them cornered and you successfully rolled 3 intimidation checks to ensures that these guys are giving up. You also have the situation under control. The only threat that remains is the particle fountain.
Yes.
Which the Ross is going to have to roll against in an extended task. So instead of going through the process of rounding everybody up and getting the ship secured and everything else like that, over the next hour, people are going to be transported into the brig. You guys are going to be wrapping this up, but I need to get an engineering extended task roll.
Great.
As you all secure these pods and get people back on board the ship.
Safe.
I would like to call for the ambassador's help on this.
Okay.
Because we're monitoring. You had said over the communications that you were able to sense that they were alive, but they were not experiencing anything, correct?
Of course, they're unconscious. That's not unusual.
I would like you to make sure that they stay unconscious. If anybody's experiencing pain or waking up from stasis during this process, we need to know immediately.
All right. However, I
And our
can help.
sensors are not the greatest.
So I'm gonna be a GM.
Oh,
And I'm going to drop 3 threat here.
Ooh.
And I'm going to make this frustrating.
Great.
Can I ask?
We can counter.
If
We also have momentum.
Yeah.
We can also do things
Yes.
like advantages.
Yeah, I was
Love
gonna say Dory is already set up a thing,
Dari,
which
yeah.
Dari. Is
Yeah,
it Dari?
yeah.
Dari.
Sorry,
But
Dari.
that doesn't. Yeah, that'll help with the people and the
Yeah.
movable, but not the pods.
I'll also
Oh,
be
it won't?
monitoring them.
That's what the pattern buffer enhances people moving back and forth, but the pods are big equipment, so it's too big for that.
I was going to say if you wanted to monitor them on one side, I can monitor them on the other.
Can we do 2 assists?
No, but
Narratively, though.
something happened.
Yeah.
Something happened. I'd be doctoring the whole time anyway.
I mean,
'Cause there's nothing
is it
to fight.
Is it really? Is it
If it's
really?
good.
Am I really the best person for this?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't need a tricorder to.
Right.
Oh,
Plus,
I
we
see.
can't trust our tricorders.
So
Honestly, I was mostly going with beaming to get y'all yoinked before the particle fountain. If it's going to take 100 years, it's faster to just stun the Gorn and then tractor the station into safety.
that's true. It is a scale 4 station.
Right. I was
But-
operating on the assumption that the beaming in fact goes much more efficiently since we have the Gorn cornered. If the particle fountain is in fact the greatest threat,
It is.
we should just tractor the station
You
as
can
planned.
totally track to the station.
So we tractor the station as planned.
We get
and
to use the tractor beam!
disembark the pods at our leisure.
Absolutely.
We do that.
Okay.
Great. Do we
Um,
use that though?
So it is a
Get it.
scale
Done.
4.
Yes.
So let's roll for the tractor
Possibly.
beam.
Yes, do you have the tractor beam rules? Because strength
I do.
5. Love it.
Xander is on top of it.
He was excited
He's
for
been
I was
waiting for this
excited.
moment.
Yeah.
Tactical officer engages a tractor beam of a nearby object or vessel. This requires a control plus security task, assisted by the ship's structure and security, with a difficulty of 2. It can only be directed at a target within close range. If successful, the target vessel is immobilized and cannot move, but we're towing.
Cool.
Yep.
All right.
Momentum for extra die.
Yes, please.
Do that? Yes.
That'd be good, just to get it.
And then can Chief assist? Because it's a.
Well, it's using the
Oh.
ship, but
It's control security, right?
It's control security.
May I roll that?
Yeah.
Great. Because I think everyone with good control security we put over there.
No, because this is now taking place. Because here's the thing: only necessary personnel need to come back to the ship. So I'm assuming Prawl is going to make this roll. Do you
Good.
want?
No,
Yeah.
Prawl can absolutely.
'Cause
I
I'm
thought we
assuming-
didn't have Prawl
Prawl was in
available
the
to us.
room of priority beambacks.
Yes.
Cool.
So
If Prawl's
Prawl,
making the roll, then
Prawl
we're great.
being stabilized. I mean, he's going to have to go get the injury treated. But
But,
They probably can't keep him in sick bay.
McCrell, Prawl, and Olin were priority beam out, so
Yeah.
we are already back on
If
the
we can
So-
get Prawl tractoring, then Prawl should tractor. Yes,
I'm going to use
absolutely.
the next 15 minutes is recovering the away team, setting up the transporter, getting an engineering team is beamed over. Seeing as having to take extra care, I'm going to ask that you guys subtract 2 more power from the Ross, as Sing is pumping power into the transporters.
I guess
so we're
it's
down to
8.
9? Oh, 8.
Because there was one from the phaser shot.
Yeah.
Correct. 8.
So you guys have so much power on that ship.
We have just enough.
So subtracted 2 power. Sing is able to use the transporters over an extended period of time to actually set everything up and get both the away team back to where they need to be and start setting up the beam outs of the uncoupled stasis pods. The Ross successfully. How many successes did you roll on that assist roll?
That was 1.
That's
From
so that's 3 from Prawl. So.
So that was on a difficulty what?
2.
The difficulty was 2. So you see this tractor beam, this glowing ambient blue light as the tractor beam immediately just
It's beautiful.
locks on to the station. And 1/4 impulse, and Vryn begins to steer. Vryn's sitting there at the helm station with just his helmet off, still in the enviro suit. He's got his gloves off, so he's got all that articulation going on. And you see the Ross slowly at first, but the Ross, a scale 6 exploration cruiser, pulls the scale 4 station slowly along, and you guys begin to feel a little bit of the rumbles as you're moving through some of the particle fields as it's fluctuated around you. And there's actually, for the first time in our show, just sort of like rumbling sensation on the bridge. And Vryn
Spilled
goes,
my tea.
Vryn just goes, it's a little tricky when you got a big thing you're pulling.
All the faith in the world in you.
And then a few moments pass, and he says, we're clear of the particle field.
Hey.
You guys pull the station to safety.
Right. Unload those stasis tubes. Doctor, get everybody secure.
Yes, I'd like them beamed straight to sickbay, please.
I'm sure we can move them. It would be a little more stable to get them through transporter rooms.
Oh, yes, of course.
Would you like to join me for the interview?
Of course. Lovely.
So, you've successfully rescued the station.
Yes.
You've captured the Gorn,
Yes.
and you've saved this unknown species.
Typical Tuesday.
I think it's Monday.
I don't do days.
And you managed to do all of it without getting too close to the particle fountain, which you could have very well ended up
But
doing
I'm
if you
guessing
had
that
to
we
fight
got
that
a
ship.
shit ton of sensor readings after getting that close to it.
Not as many as you'd like. In all honesty, the information that I gave Rave is literally all the information you were able to get from the particle fountain. But, as they say, it's not going anywhere.
I mean,
We had to leave something for the Johnson to do. They have to feel useful.
So,
Sorry.
let's go ahead and finish this off with 2 more scenes. You would like to go interview
The corn.
the Gorn. So as you're entering
Give
into...
you something. I hand you a data pad. Just in case. They had picture frames. I stole some from my memory and in case they wake up and need something to ground them.
It's brilliantly thoughtful of you. I'm unfortunately going to be with our pirate associates, so perhaps you would like
Oh.
to talk to the
But
people when they wake up.
I misunderstood. I believed you were going to the pods. Go,
I have other...
rough some pirates up.
I would never. Oh, do you want me to?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Once it's there, I kind of forget.
Hang on to it whenever you
don't
like.
so- Oh, gosh.
Uncoupling that.
Flip away, dear.
Out of curiosity, before we jump into the scene, I would really like to know how the cat's doing. That was really your first combat away mission. So as you come back onto the ship, being shot at, seeing Prawl get shot, facing down. Is this the first time that you've actually been face to face with a Gorn? Do you think? Probably not.
probably not.
Well, let's just specifically. What I should say specifically is the Gorn hegemony. Probably somebody from but
You kicked ass with Prawl
hegemony.
before.
I always say hegemony.
Yeah,
hegemony. For
hegemony.
I
God's
read
sakes.
it like
She's been in
I
combat
keep
with Prawl
saying-
before.
I've been in combat before.
They totally annihilated a couple episodes ago.
Which is why I wouldn't have called that combat.
Nice.
I never committed a single combat.
It was literally pressing a button and watching your bad guys go down.
Paul's the one
just
who got
because they
shot
dominated in combat.
Okay, so let's do
today. I
this.
don't even think I fired a
Um,
shot.
Yeah. I'm just frustrated with the hegemony thing. Like, hegemony. I keep doing that. So we are now going to start the scene in the brig.
Yes.
The Gorn are separated into different cells, but the captain is kept in an individual cell. And as you enter, you see one of the security officers, Captain. He's right over there.
Wonderful.
You move over. On this, barely fitting on this bed, is this long reptilian crocodile-like tail just snaked out and laid out onto the floor with this big, thick leg pulled up to his chest and one outstretched. And he's got this arm hanging over the side. Judging from the life of this Gorn, he's seen some shit. The 3 fingers on his left hand are missing and seem to have been replaced by cybernetics. They look crudely installed, woven into the flesh. You can tell that at some point his body probably fought off an infection because the skin around it mottles a little bit. You can tell from the scarification on his face and also a few of the colorations across his chest and eyes and whatnot that he's been hit with energy fire multiple times in his life and probably did not get the proper medical treatment when it was done. In other words, everything about this Gorn reads to you, Azuri, as someone who has lived most of their life on the edge of civilized space.
Well,
Even
every
for
good run
Gorn.
has to end somewhere.
You would know from Gorn society that Gorn like him are usually... Gorn are not very nice to their criminals. And it's not unusual to hear about them literally being drawn and quartered. They are brutalized and killed when they're caught. This particular Gorn, with this sort of burn mark that's caused a bit of a sneer come up, and he's got those classic Gorn-like ocular goggles on. So his eyes are actually covered by these golden-looking, like, insectoid eyes that are cupped over, giving him this bizarre, like, wide-eyed look. Leathers from different kinds of species and animals across the quadrant adorn his body. And he just sits there and looks at you. You can't... Typical to Gorn, it's hard to read their expressions.
And I'm guessing
I'm
not getting any much more from them than I did on.
Oh, you are now, yes.
Oh, good.
Now that you all have moved away from the particle fountain, interestingly enough,
Interesting.
Subspace interferes with Dalton telepathy. I'll make a note.
Yeah. Good to know.
interestingly enough, moving away from the particle fountain, you were able to feel the emotions and presence of these Gorn.
That is disconcerting.
What are they?
This particular Gorn is filled with indignation.
How sad for him.
The rest of the Gorn are curious, but mostly you detect fear. Lots and lots of fear in the room. And you're guessing the reason why is because these Gorn know that they're going to be sent back to the hegemony, and that what's going to await them there is not going to be very pleasant. They're captured pirates. That's what you're sensing.
Thank you, Captain, for doing the right thing by your crew. I had no desire to shoot them.
There's dead silence. He just stares at you. Even the tail stops moving. Just comes to a still.
Starfleet imprisons its pirates, you know.
What was that?
Starfleet imprisons its pirates. Helpful ones, at least.
The bulk of this Gorn as he slowly rises. And he stands about 5 inches taller than you, Azuri, as he moves over to you and puts this meaty arm up over his head and leans against the bulkhead. And this huge crocodilian reptilian face looking down at you. And you don't get the sense that he's trying to intimidate. It looks like he's just getting closer to look. And he regards you for a second. You can see sort of this fuzzy, sort of stained-looking reflection of yourself back through the oculus of his eye, like the eye sensors that are over his face. And there's a beat, and then for a moment, there's about 3 seconds of silence as he just stares at you, and then he says,
Azuri Sol, the Orion traitor. I heard you were headed this way.
Heard from whom?
The Syndicate knows you're out here, flying under the Federation flag. What's left of it?
Who in the Syndicate told you?
he lowers his arm and he takes a step back, and he says,
No. Execution by my government is preferred than betrayal.
Seems they left you out in the cold. They betrayed you first.
You know that's not how this works. They have more than my life hanging over my head.
I won't tell if you don't.
the thudding sounds of this Gorn as he moves back, and he slides into the bed and he says,
I will consider.
Think fast. Your crew might make a different choice. And I only need information from one of you.
I will say that we will be a lot gentler with you than the consequences if you're sent back. And Olin just makes eye contact with everybody in the room.
Okay. The other Gorn look very nervous. You can sense that they're very nervous. But the captain, you don't sense any intimidation from the threat. Instead, you get this sense of, like, indignation but defeat. He leans back against the bulkhead and angles his head up so you can see that the slight change of coloration on his gullet as he kind of angles up and says,
The Syndicate does not tell henchmen anything of consequence. But a captain, I am the only one who knows what you want to know.
I would make that statement from your position either. Bluff or not.
I don't gamble,
I
Captain.
walk to the next cell.
They, Gorn in the other cell, look at each other as you approach.
Are you feeling inclined to be helpful?
One of them comes up and says, What do you wish to know? I'll tell you anything. Don't send me back.
I think you and I should have a more private interview. Look to security. Put this one in an interrogation room.
Right away, Captain.
We'll be back.
With
the
your
captain.
permission, Captain, I would really rather be with our guests and the commander.
Of course.
Thank you.
And as you leave, just as the door is closing, you hear the distinct You want to stop?
I hope no one gives word to the Syndicate that you did cave. Especially if you didn't. That'd be so unfortunate for you. And now I walk.
Okay.
And I just nod to the captain and I start heading in Exio's direction.
Okay. In sickbay,
Yay!
they've been roused and slowly awoken from their chambers. They've also been outfitted, and this is precautionary, but they've been given universal translators to understand you, so that when they wake up, they don't hear.
data pads of personal effect recordings.
So their personal translators are being sort of modulated as they're staring at you. The one that seems to be the lead scientist, based off of what's on their sleeve, these sort of markings on the sleeve. You're hearing this strange language back and forth as they're looking at each other, but they're wide-eyed, looking around, just like stunned, like looking over everything at all the colors and lights in the sick bay. They seem particularly curious about you, Lucat, and they're smiling. It doesn't seem like mockery. It seems like scientists. They're, oh my god, we just discovered a whole slew of new species.
It discovered us!
Right. And a few moments pass. A few moments pass when the nurse just says, okay, those should be working. Can you understand us now? And the lead scientist's eyes widen. Their voice sounds strange, almost like it's coming through a radio speaker, an old-timey radio speaker. So it's got this sort of distant, like, background, you know, it's sort of like it's speaking through like a can almost.
Sure.
And you hear him go, yes, I can understand you. How, such remarkable technology. Who are you?
Hello.
Hello.
We are Starfleet.
What a beautiful name. Hello, Starfleet. My name is... was that wrong? He stops and looks at the other ones.
Sorry.
You should start over. Let's
Yes, from the
try
beginning.
it again. You're doing great. Stay over here.
I am Dr. Yugas.
Oh. Yugas.
Yugas. Yes.
I
This
am-
is my crew staff.
Hello. I guess you can... My personal name is Exio, the commander of this vessel.
Exio?
Xeo, yes.
Exio. You hear them all looking at Exio. They're like saying to each other, and are you... That's what I did too. Is your species Starfleet?
No, I am a human
Human.
hologram.
A hologram.
Yes.
This will take a long time.
Go ahead and make a command presence roll.
Okay.
Can I have
So many.
What's
Let me
up?
know when I arrive.
I would say you're there.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I
can
have
still do it?
patience with me as well, but patience
collaboration
is sitting at the end, like at the door.
Patience has definitely gotten their attention.
Yeah.
They're just looking at everything.
I've just kept patience back at the door for now.
Okay.
But she's
Spending a
there.
momentum for collaboration with the captain. Please help me with my command roll.
Difficulty is 1.
I'm gonna spend momentum to buy another die. I just really want them to be like us.
Determination if you have one.
And Aki,
Roll for popularity.
Yeah. Wait.
it's true. No, you haven't spent a game. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cute.
Can it be my door is always open?
Yes. Yes.
There's also directive.
So auto success.
Yeah.
Also that. Yeah. But I like that one.
No, I do too.
Do we have
Oh,
a difficulty?
Yeah, you can still.
Difficulty is 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So auto success.
So this is just momentum gain.
Yeah.
Or throw.
Oh no.
What's your head? Ah!
It's real good.
It's real good. What is yours?
5 and you're
5.
5 successes.
This, their race is,
Can I just start spitting out information at them?
which does not overwhelm them. They lean
Great.
in
No, my God.
and they start asking questions. They
I
want to know what a
explain Starfleet,
Cardassian is.
yeah, all of everything. I
Do
make
all
them meet
Cardassians look
everyone.
like you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exposition.
Yes.
Exposition.
It's 30 minutes of fast-paced
If they
talking.
ask about patience, I bring patience up to meet them.
They want to know more about
Oh
Earth.
yes, bring in
What is a
everyone.
canine? Such sharp teeth for such an adorable creature. Like all these like observations that are coming spilling out of them. Is it possible to take a tour of your ship? They've never seen technology like this before. Here's what you learn about them.
Yes.
They call themselves the Jashia.
Jashia.
How do we spell?
The Jashia are it's J''SHA. Jasha. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Jashashia. Jashashia. J''SHA.
Wow, none of that happened in my brain.
Here you
Yeah.
go. I got
Wait.
you.
Jashashia.
I got you.
Thank
They're a
you.
humanoid race, deep orange, with like deep orange skin,
Yeah.
black glossy platelets lining their cheekbones. They have no hair.
Great.
They were a team of
Hey.
12 on board this station, and
we got them all.
they all every single one of them are in good condition. Today everybody survives. Everyone lives. They were aboard this station when a pulse of particle energy came out of the fountain that was disrupting life support. So as a precaution, they sent out an SOS and immediately retreated into stasis pods because this was their emergency retreat.
Oh, smart baby.
So while they were in the stasis pod, apparently they were happened upon by a bunch of pirates who saw a very easy mark. And it just so happens when they were in the middle of their illegal salvage, a very large starship vessel came investigating the particle fountain.
Well, thank
Is what you
goodness.
learned. They're
timing.
peaceful. They're a curious race. They're early into their warp flight.
Yeah.
Their planet is in this sector. It is a Class M world. And this is the first deep space station their species has ever created.
Congratulations.
You did it.
And you've been examining the particle fountain.
And-
Yeah, weird question. Yeah, the
Yeah.
particle fountain thing. But the facts that they're saying, I know we're in Shackleton, so it's a little different, but does the things that they're saying sound like our universe?
Yes.
Okay, just
Yeah.
checking.
You're not getting any Campbell vibes from them.
But I do like where the cat was
Campbell
headed.
particles?
In that
Yeah, Campbell particles.
But
if the station has been here, they've been collecting data on the particle fountain.
And they are excited to share with you what they've learned.
And I'm very excited to show you my lab.
It's literally gonna be 48 hours of just translating, processing data, sharing data. But you also learned that you've saved their station. No. Because as it turns out, which we didn't get to, when you guys tractored it out, you actually removed it from a decaying orbit that you hadn't detected. And so
Beams are best.
so you actually managed to save the station as well.
we
So
got a new station.
And you've made first contact with a post-warp new species that's native to Shackleton Expanse.
Amazing.
So we're charting a course to their planet to return them.
Which is going
and
to be
make formal first contact.
which is going to be a full-on diplomatic mission as first representatives of the United Federation of Planets to this new planet.
Get ready, Ambassador.
That, however, that is going to have to be for our next session.
I can't wait.
Got everyone off of the cliff!
Yes, we did.
Actually,
And made new friends.
New friends.
I might
and new,
actually get to share a
friends.
value next week, which I have not yet gotten to do.
Ooh.
Not gotten to burn a single
So
determination or
mysterious.
share
As
a
we
value.
close this out,
neither.
as shift hours are coming to an end, there's as you're closing down and ending your shift and handing it over to Beta Shift.
Yes.
Prawl comes into sickbay and enters the doctor's office and says, "Doctor, I was wondering if I could talk to you for a second.
Yes.
I just want to permission to speak freely."
Always.
Why did you leave me?
Because I knew you were going to be just fine.
All right. And with that, Prawl shifts on his foot, and you see a couple of the medical staff watch him stride out of the med bay. He leaves sick bay. The door closes. You get a sense you're not 100% sure if that anger was all directed at you. And that is where we're going to leave tonight's game.
You just can't let anything be nice.
We went way over, so I was like,
we just.
There's just
Do I
one
have
more.
enough time to be mean? You know what?
Well, because y'all actually have apparently the two of you have an issue with Prawl right now, too. I was hoping we'd get to that, but we ran 10 minutes over tonight. But hey, more
Then
clear
we will
skies.
find out next
We'll
week.
find out next week. Before we sign off here tonight, you guys, thank you so much for joining us for this adventure. This was a lot of fun. Before we sign off tonight, I just want to encourage everyone to go check out Descent into Midnight.
Yes, please.
Final week of the
Exclamation
Kickstarter.
point DIM or exclamation
Yeah.
point midnight in chat, please.
Give it a good look and see, because
And tell your friends.
Tell your
This
friends
is the
about it.
time.
Share
Tell
it.
your enemies.
Share it on Twitter. You'd be supporting the Stream Punks, but you'd also be supporting a really wonderful RPG and wonderful people making that RPG. So with that, I think we're going to sign off for tonight. We will see you this time next week. And until then, stay whimsical, my friends. Hailing frequencies are closed.
Peace out.